Bridgestone is the official tire of the New England Patriots, and Bridgestone tires are now on sale through December 10th at all Sullivan Tire locations. Visit sullivantire.com for a location near you.
Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
No movement for the Patriots.
Anything close?
I don't know. I don't even know what you mean by that.
What is that?
But it's taken this whole blue mommy way, or whatever you call that,
Yeah, I have no further comment on that one. I know you don't think that the Blanamis are there, but you watch the Blanamis come. I said he's the best player on the Patriots. I think he's the Patriots' best player.
The best player on the Patriots. Sorry.
Yeah.
But even till now, he's proven to be the best player on the Patriots, right?
I think he's the Patriots' best player, yes.
Yeah, and he's the best Patriots. He's the best player on the Patriots.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, but that's just my opinion.
And
that doesn't mean
Patriots' best player. Is he the best player?
But then you're.
Yes, I said that in the summer.
You're coming over to the nerds, one of us. Yeah.
I just want to be like them.
The claw.
When you get weapons and you get an offensive coordinator that knows how to design plays, the quarterback plays better. Imagine that.
We'll see.
Shocking.
I need to know if you're serious or not when you say that you think Bill just believes that he can win without a quarterback.
Okay, whatever. I'm just done with stuff being put in my mouth. What is the point, Todd? now I'm really am mad. What is the point? Tell me why I'm wrong, like I am every other time you call. You're a one-trick pony.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Fueled by Duncan.
It was a raucous show yesterday.
Raucous finish.
Not sure if I can top that, but it is Thursday.
I just want to reiterate that I stand by. I think Ramondre Stevenson is the best player on the team.
The Patriots' best player.
Fred just kept saying, and he's the best player. It's so funny when you hear it back how silly you sound.
I'm only kidding. It's the shtick.
No, me, I mean. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You've been saying it a lot. I mean, people are writing in about this. I mean, it's just the Ramondre Stevenson thing. It won't quit.
Like, would it just to address that a little bit? Would it make anyone feel better if I said, okay, maybe they'd be 3-5 instead of 4-4? I still think they'd be 4-4, but like if you this Jets game, maybe you could say that they wouldn't have won. I mean, I don't really think there's an argument to be made for any of the other three games.
I found a stat that kind of supports you too. Like just a little backup. I know you don't
need
them.
You're going to hold out on that, I would imagine.
No, I was going to bring it up. I thought it was funny. Football Outsiders does the defense adjusted yards above replacement. So it's basically like I know. Why do
I feel like this is not going to support my argument?
I love when you take one of Paul's things and then you put like a statistical thing on it. But it's essentially like if you had an average back, how much better is this guy than an average just run of the mill gets what's there? 23rd Stevenson in the league. He's lower than Harris is as far as like yards above replacement is in terms of the football.
What does that mean though? Like if you replaced him, how much better would he be?
How much better does he do?
I didn't know I could get in a different argument, but I think I am.
I know. I we'll probably let Evan explain it, but I'd be curious his take on it. Yeah, that was epic yesterday. I stumbled upon that. I thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, and
23rd.
The point that I'm trying to make is not that I think he hasn't played well, not that like I said, and Fred repeated, I feel like he's the best player, but I just don't look at any of the game. I feel like when you have the other team turning the ball over 4 times, you're probably going to win the game. Like they won 29-0 against Detroit. Yes, he had a career high 161 yards. Like, can anyone honestly tell me that they don't think that if someone else ran the ball, they wouldn't have won the game because the other team went 0 for 6 on 4th down? Like that's my only point. It's not that he's like. People keep saying, well, if you're saying their record wouldn't be different, then you're saying he's irrelevant. No, I'm not saying he's irrelevant. He's a good player. But I think that the games, the way they've unfolded this year, you're going to beat Pittsburgh when they turn the ball over. The ball goes off of Gunnar Olszewski's face mask inside the 10-yard line, you're going to win the game, right? Did they have to have Ramondre Stevenson to win that game? He's still good. I didn't get it.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring it back up.
No, we don't have to go back into it, but I just think that somehow people are equating me saying that their record would be the same with saying that he stinks and he's irrelevant. I'm not saying he's irrelevant.
All right, it's Thursday here at Gillette Stadium. 855-PATS-500 is the Ace Ticket hotline. Web radio at patriots.com is the email address. We're getting ready for the Colts, obviously. We've got picks today. It's a big show. Evan will be back from practice. When he's back from practice,
I hope he's calmed down a little bit. He was angry. He was an angry.
You know what I want? First of all, it was my favorite ever moment from Evan yesterday. Since in his short time being with us, I want Speed to call back in so Evan can yell at him again.
You've only watched Tom Brady
because that was my favorite. That was my favorite part. That's why I got involved.
You know, Speed is from LA.
That was fun.
He doesn't even get our games.
Oh, I know. It's funny because I feel like we know Speed, who's this caller who's always coming in, and Evan just goes right at him like
you're
he's
wrong.
But that's fine.
No, it's fine.
It was great.
I loved it.
Oh, I did
too.
I sent him a text. I gave him a little attaboy. I was
I jumped in and then he pushed back at me. I thought that was a great last.
I almost
15
liked
minutes.
it. Yeah. Oh, it was. It was funny. I was thinking about it last night, and there were. I don't know if you do this, Paul. You probably just think of all your arguments right off the top. I'm like George Costanza, where like 24 to 48 hours it takes me to process an argument and then figure out what it was and what the things were.
The jerk store call.
That's exactly it. His mom died.
Deuce is making a U-turn on Route 1. Can we do an emergency show? I've got a point.
I got a point. I finally came up. My dad called me and gave it to me. One little counter that I was thinking was like, Patrick Mahomes didn't have too much drop off though when he lost Tyreek Hill. I don't know how that fits into the whole thing, but I summed up the argument between. I think Evan was basically saying weapons, and you were saying Mac.
Yeah. So I will say this, out of the interest of fairness, and I will repeat it when Evan comes in. I did go out of my way to ask a lot of different people the same question yesterday. Mac Jones in Miami right now, better, worse, same. And the vast majority of people felt it would be the same. Mm-hmm. So they agreed with Evan. And I mean, in reality, I probably would agree with that too. I think Evan was probably right. I kind of really liked the way Evan was snapping at Spee, and I just needed to get involved.
I want in too.
So in retrospect, I probably went a little bit further into that just because I liked the reaction it was eliciting from Evan.
Yeah.
When he told Spee, like, you're wrong, like that was like my favorite moment in Evan PU history.
Yeah, there it is. I think the thing just for me that's hard is that Tua has kind of owned the Patriots, and he's looked really good and efficient, and I can't say that about Mac against anybody, and that's just my impression, my Patriots impression of Tua. Maybe I think a little higher of him, just that we haven't been able to solve him.
And I would also say I think in general, Patriots fans think nothing of Tua. So for you telling me that Mac would look the same is telling me that you don't think that much differently than Tua from Mac.
And some of his throws
because if Mahomes was in Miami right now, you think it would look better than this? Or Josh Allen? Because I do.
Yeah.
Like, I think Tua's played well, but I don't think he's great.
But he makes some. I mean, I'm not trying to turn this into a Tua love fest, but I mean, he's impressed me this year. He's impressed me with some of his accuracy. Where you talk about guys who are accurate, and that's their strength, and we say that somewhat about Mac. I've seen Tua make accurate throws where I'm like, that is
quickly,
right on the money. And Mac's had a couple of those, but Tua's been more consistent. He's had more time.
Yeah,
he has more around him. It's the long way from being done yet, but
he has a lot more around him. I don't think anyone would argue any differently. But I would also say that one thing that looks like it's sticking out from Miami in general, but in Tua, and I don't think certain the jury's way out on Mike McDaniel. The guy's coached 8 games, so we're not ready to call him the next great thing. Brian Flores, who I love, did not embrace Tua. And this guy has. This guy's accepted Tua, for his strengths and his faults, and that's his quarterback. And it's apparent to me that he's playing much freer, with more sort of confidence being shown in him from the coaching staff. I think that's – have you seen that, Fred, at all? Like, do you think that's –
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we wouldn't have to go – like, it's not a Miami show. I get it. We can move on.
I think Flores, was begot from Belichick, and that's a more conservative approach. You
Well,
know?
I think he also
Yeah.
Flores. I think they were, like the whole time they were looking to get Brady, and they were looking
Yeah.
to do different things, and I just don't think they ever were sold on Tua once he got there.
Yep. All right. Injury report, or not injury report, practice participation report came out yesterday, and David Andrews didn't practice. And, I often bring up your roundtable on the Thursday show. One of your questions was, what is the one thing? And I said offensive line play. I think the Patriots defense will be fine. But if the offensive line doesn't play well, it's going to be a slog. And if Andrews isn't in there, that affects left guard at a minimum. Right tackle is in flux. That's what worries me about this game.
Yeah, I agree. Prior to yesterday, that was my biggest thing.
I
Is
said
Andrews
the
going to be
same
back?
thing, yeah.
And Paul, I think, said it yesterday. It's not about leadership. Of course, you love the guy, but it's just about play. And, I think that the drop-off and, what he means when he's in there, can you just get through this game? Now it's looking he probably ain't going to go. So can you just get through this game, get to the bye week, and then hopefully you get him back?
Yeah, I'm going to hold out hope for when Evan gets back today.
Maybe today.
Yeah,
Maybe he's out there.
Well, because it might be, the protocol might have
weird,
lifted
right?
yesterday,
Yeah.
and you never know.
Yep.
So I'm going to hold out some hope. If he's a DNP again today, then I would say he hasn't cleared.
Yeah. When are you posting your thing?
Tomorrow. Yeah, it was Friday morning.
Oh, so I might have to update it then.
Okay.
Because at the time I wrote it, obviously, it didn't look like Andrews would play. So if he does look like he would, I
Just
wanna-
tweak it a little.
Just
I got
tweak
you.
it a
You know,
little.
Use your editing
I got you.
skills.
I got
Use
you.
all
Yeah,
your
I got you.
skills.
Yeah.
They're all going to come
I
together.
can't let his mother see him.
I like
this.
it. And then we'll do a big one next week. We'll do some superlatives.
Well,
and things like that.
I'm gonna not be here Monday.
Wait.
Taking a day off. I need to do some things, and then Wednesday I'll be here, but I'm leaving for Germany, so I won't be here Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
So I'll need your questions before I leave.
I got you. Well, it's on the bye week,
And,
so I can get them
and
to
in
you.
all seriousness, we do, because I think that's a good way to get our
Yeah.
sort of first half thoughts of the
Yeah,
team in.
get a big, long,
Yeah.
let everybody
Are we
weigh
going to
in.
do like mid-season awards?
Yeah, I was thinking I would include that within
I think
there.
that could be part of this. And
Okay.
if we want to do something separate, but I think that's a good
Yeah.
way to sort of get all of our thoughts on mid-season award kind
Yeah,
of things. I was going to do like a sort of a mid-season NFL awards for the top of my notes
Okay,
for
there
on
you go.
Monday too.
That's a good
Perfect.
idea.
Perfect. It's good. It's all coming together.
It's all coming together.
Love it when a plan
We got
comes
you covered.
together.
We got you
It only
covered.
took us 10 weeks, but
I was going to say 20 years.
It takes you some time to find out what you got, to find your identity.
Yeah.
And I guess we're finding
But
it.
I'm lockstep with Freddie on pass protection. That's my key for Sunday for our keys to the game. Was the key to that question.
Yep.
Like they have to find a way to hold on to the ball, and in order to hold on to the ball, you need to be have better pass protection. So I think it all goes hand in hand.
Absolutely.
yeah. So I just want to see Max see the field, have poise in the pocket, spread the ball. Mm-hmm. A lot of that has to do with Patricia too in the play calling, but really, it's rare that unless it's a screen or something like that, it's rare that he only has one option on a play. So he has to start using some of those mental faculties we are told that is his superpower.
Yeah. And I'd like to see it start to translate to the stat sheet too. I mean, I know they went on a long thing of praising him for the things that he does that doesn't show up in the stat sheet, but it's like if you're putting people into the right play before the snap, maybe you should be getting some more explosive plays. Maybe you should be getting more plays that do show up on the stat sheet. So hopefully it translates, but I think it's just like you guys said, I think it's all connected. Like start protecting him, give him that confidence, and I think once that starts to happen, then you might start to click and see the chemistry and things happening organically outside of just everything feeling like, and then he blocked him, and then we got the 1 yard that we needed, and then we were on to the next play. Like things are big plays and exciting plays. And the other thing I was thinking about last night was this team could really use a nice home win. Like I just think Mac could use it. I think the team could use it.
Fans could use it.
Fans could use it going in just on a high note. Maybe a feel good kind of victory. I think would really
I like
go
one
a
of
long
those
way.
where the Colts get off the bus. And
They look cold?
Yeah, after that
Like the
first
Cardinals?
quarter, they wish they never did.
Yeah.
Like start warming up the buses. This one's going to be,
Yeah,
a blowout. A blowout.
I'd be interested. It's going to be interesting to see that first, first possession, because I think it's so different when the other team gets the ball first, and then you get that 3 and out. You feel like
We're rolling.
Okay,
Here we go.
We're in
Yeah.
control of this game.
Yeah, is it amazing how much that seems to kind of hinge on the coin flip a little bit? It just seems like so much more of a significant factor now.
Yeah,
than
like
than it might
Chicago
used to
won
be.
the toss and deferred, and then they come out and they force a 3 and out, and you feel like you're on your heels already. Then all of a sudden the Bears go right down the field, kick a field goal, and you're like, ugh.
Ruh-roh.
Now it's like you're thinking to yourself, well, we're 10 minutes into the first quarter before we have a chance to regain control of the game or get control of the
Right.
game.
Plus-
and in that case, it was longer than that.
Plus, if it's a 3 and out, and you start at your 25, you're going to have decent field position, probably for that second drive. So those are the hidden yards, field position yards that you see in a game.
Freddie, we get smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of I do think it was interesting too. We never really talk about special teams, but I think Slater saying that was maybe their worst performance last year. Ventrone on Indy's side, a guy that was around here. Obviously the block punt for the touchdown last year was a huge play in the game, but I thought it was interesting that just acknowledging that was probably our worst game. We really got it handed to us by these guys, so we'll see what the Patriots are able to do, this week on special teams if they're able to make some plays.
Bill had an interesting comment, and I don't know if it was yesterday's press conference, but he openly admitted we've had trouble with mobile quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like I guess he said things but it just that stuck out to me.
Too.
Yeah,
it's
me
like
too.
he's saying what we see.
Because
Right.
he usually doesn't admit the
Right.
obvious.
Right.
Right.
It's true.
No, it's you're great point. I thought the same thing. Anytime I think you hear him kind of admit something specific that they haven't been able to kind of crack yet, maybe a good question for Mayo. That about what's the deal. I mean, you're going to have to face these guys. I mean, God. I mean, the thing that drives me nuts is Josh Allen. Like, how do you not have some kind of answer for this by this point, or
Right.
at least some kind of plan that you kind of believe?
But then
in?
I look at it and I say, like, who's got the plan?
Nobody. Great point. Yep.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Maybe the Patriots are bothered by it a little bit more than the average team, to use your DVOA things. Like, maybe they're bothered by it a little bit more than most. But, I mean, I see Patrick Mahomes, I see Josh Allen, I see Lamar Jackson, and I see very few teams that are able to just say, like, this guy doesn't really hurt us. And maybe in the specific case of Lamar Jackson, maybe you see the teams in the division do a little bit better of a job with it.
Yeah.
Because of, the frequency that they see him. But I don't really see a lot of teams just completely stopping it.
No.
For a game you can do it, but like on a consistent basis. I think
Especially
it's hard.
when the longer the play lasts, the more likely he could break it off. You have to, whatever you're going to do, you got to do it fast against those guys.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a point of emphasis to get shots on them when you can? Like,
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can really think that you
But
can.
but you can't overdo it. You can't overrun the play. You got to stay disciplined.
Yeah.
That's the last time that they beat Buffalo.
It's when Jonathan Jones.
Yeah. And he knocked
Bopped
him out
him.
of the game. Not counting the
I'm not
hurricane
obviously
game.
not trying to say knock him out of the game, but
Right, I know
it's just, it's
you're
the
not.
only thing to go into
Give him
a
something
game
to think about.
other than we just got to chase him and tackle him. I don't know what else you say philosophically as unless you got two guys on him every time or whatever. Like, philosophically, I just feel like you have to say we need a Rodney Harrison type or somebody who's going to give him a little extra business, and that's probably why I'm a little intrigued by Jabril Peppers. I know he's small, and probably him tackling Josh Allen's a bad idea anyway, but he just seems to have a little bit of that edge where it's like, maybe that first or second run when Lamar Jackson tucks it or Josh Allen tucks it and he just gets popped, it just gives him something to think about. I don't know what else. I think Paul's point is so correct. What do you do? I don't think there's something schematically that you can really adjust your whole defense so you go into the year where, all right, we're ready for mobile quarterbacks. I don't know so much about passing offenses or other conventional running back offenses, but when they try to run with a quarterback, we're going to kill him,
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is.
I guess with like Josh Allen specific, I think it's the old cliche, you try to make him go left.
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I was thinking, if that's the case, then you want your pressure to come from the other side to force him to go left. Scheming a matchup that's favorable so you get pressure that closes off one
Right.
exit.
Yeah.
But I think if you overloaded and did that, I think he would He
You'll
would take
recognize
take
him.
off and run
Right.
quick, more quickly than he would normally do it.
That's why these guys are great.
Yeah.
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 That's why they're better than everybody else. There's no one answer.
Are you at all, speaking of the mobility of these guys, are you guys at all worried about Ellinger in that regard.
Yes.
No.
Him as a runner.
I mean, not overall, but I think
I am a little bit.
But I'd like to
Are
see
you?
it. I really want to see him try it. Like, just because I want to see how the Patriots deal with it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't really, like Bill said, we haven't seen him have a lot of success stopping it. All right, well, let's get a look at a second-year quarterback. I wonder overall what the Colts' kind of mental state is coming into this game. I mean, last year I remember hearing about, Frank Reich talking to his team on the in-season Hard Knocks, and, this is the test this week. And, just blowing up the Patriots games as – a referendum on their season. And they came out and played, awesome. And it was probably like the highlight of their season. Right after that, I mean, they kind of faded just like the Patriots did until it all fell apart in Jacksonville for them.
right.
Do they have that same kind of energy coming in after they've been unloading guys and firing coaches and they make a quarterback switch? And,
Yeah, I don't know.
I think for a week or two, because I thought they played really hard yesterday, but they are. I think they're going down Tank Avenue. I really do, and I think when they lose a couple more, it could be look out below. But I do think they played hard last week, and I think they'll play hard this week. I think Taylor is huge. He didn't practice yesterday, so I don't know what
see
his
on him too.
I don't know what his status will be.
So after the 42-10 Patriots win, they're tanking, Mike. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, you could get some of that. Yeah, you could get some of that, but you know it when you see it.
Yeah.
I know.
Like they beat the Lions 29-0. I don't think anybody said the Lions were tanking.
Yeah.
They might be now.
Now they are. But, going back to what Belichick said and, just openly saying we're having trouble with mobile quarterbacks, is that almost a dare? Why don't you have Sam run around?
Right.
Because maybe he's got something up his sleeve for that. I don't know. Or maybe he just wants this, this team to have more practice against it. But it was just weird that he said that.
Yeah, well, just any team that was aware of Chicago and what Chicago did and how they installed that and the success that they had and how they kind of caught the Patriots a little bit off guard with it. I have a lot of respect for what Chicago did in that game and their ability to install a unique twist to attack the Patriots. Just like I had respect for how the Eagles kind of did it back in Super Bowl 52, where when you have to beat these teams, that's how you have to play. And I mean, I hope that at some point we get to a point with the Patriots where when you go into the Buffalo game, you see a similar kind of aggressive mindset of how we're going to go after that team to beat them, because it's going to take 60 minutes just like it used to take to beat the Patriots.
All right, 855-PATS-500 is the Ace Ticket Hotline, web radio at patriots.com. Just a reminder, Evan will be back from practice. What time? Probably around...
It was 12:40's practice, so probably after lunch. I mean,
about
probably 1-ish.
Yeah,
top of the hour.
And then we've got picks later on. So in the meantime, let's hear what you have to say, both on the phone and email. We'll start with the Ace Ticket Hotline. Eldred's in North Carolina. What's up, Eldred? Eldred.
Mike.
Hey.
Fred.
Hey.
Hey, Paul, I miss the good old days when we used to argue. But lately we seem to be agreeing a lot lately, and I'm like, darn, Paul, what you do? Flip the switch on me or what?
Yeah, I can argue with anyone. You know that.
Well, now you're both negative.
Yeah,
I don't like the tone of that at
I
all.
love that thing yesterday with you and Evan, and I tried to get on with Evan because about a month or so ago, when we first started the season, I kept throwing up the offensive coordinator. He kept saying it's not that, plays it, got better, this and that, but Mac just got to do that. Yesterday, he's more like, well, if he had an offensive coordinator, he had an offensive line, and this and that, he knocked off Tua, but like I said before, Mac couldn't beat Tua out, and he barely beat out Bryce Young. Everybody knows that. That's
well, yeah, but that's all in the past now, though, Eldred, because it doesn't matter what happened at Alabama. It's gonna be judged now on what happens in the NFL, and I think the part that bugs me about the Mac Jones analysis is exactly what Eldred just said. I think there is not enough actual analysis of how Mac is playing, and there's too much focus on all the other external factors. And this is exactly how I thought it was going to unfold all offseason. Matt Patricia was in a no-win situation. I'm not trying to defend Matt Patricia. You guys, my feelings on their plan are well known. But, I mean, I don't know. Is every time a play doesn't work, is it because they have no scheme? They have no play design? The game plan is bad? No, sometimes the quarterback has to make a play. And all these interceptions aren't Matt Patricia's fault. I just have to look at it a little bit more, fairly.
Yep. But the part that I want to argue Evans about is I brought that up the first part of the season and he shot me down. That's why I want to
Well, that's what he does.
You know,
That's why I got
he
so
did the
excited
same
yesterday. He was yelling at speed. It was great.
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, that was great, though.
My boy's
But,
all grown up.
But Ellinger is he's not a Josh, he's not a Allen or Witchcott,
No.
but he's more like that guy from New Orleans. He'll run your butt over. He's like a linebacker.
Taysom Hill.
So that's what
Yep.
you got to worry about. Yeah, Taysom Hill. You got to worry about that. But I hope everything gets better and get a better line, and I don't have to go. And I just wanted to say that I hope Evan was there because I want to argue with Evan.
Yeah, he'll be by later.
He'll be by.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Eldred.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to speak for Evan, but I mean, I do think early in the season you were kind of waiting for a sample size. I mean, we spent all summer watching wide zone and that kind of stuff, and it would seem that, all right, they're putting in some changes. And I mean, I think now at this point you have enough of a sample size that now you can start to say, all right, this is what they have been on offense. But I mean, with all the changes at quarterback and, you know, I think he's certainly intrigued by the RPO stuff. So I think that might maybe change it a little bit if they start doing more of that stuff for him.
Let's go to Eric in New Jersey. What's up, Eric?
Hey, how you guys doing? Hey, dudes. I'm glad Andy came on the show yesterday and kind of, you know, giving the sentiment on Jacoby. Like, I love Jacoby. The story about him, everything.
Yep.
You know, everything about the player. You know, seems like a good guy off the field as well. But the offense is not going to take that next level if that's your go-to guy. You know, I don't understand why they don't try to implement Tyquan, maybe Tyquan throwing in a little bit more of those roles. Like even the play when they were backed up on their goal line and they threw that out, you know, whatever, the quick screen right there to Jacoby, and Sauce Gardner came up and made that play. Like, why wouldn't you give it to your more dynamic player? You know, I love Kobe, but he's not separating. I mean, he could break up with his girlfriend and she wouldn't miss him. Like he doesn't do anything, you know, with the ball, with the ball in his hands, you know. But just kind of get your feedback on that, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I just
Thanks,
disagree.
Eric.
I mean, I get like that's been the thing with Jacoby Myers. What people have talked about is that he catches a lot of balls, but he doesn't really move the needle. I just think his production with all the different quarterbacks that he had over these 4 years, he's a good NFL receiver. Like, and right now, I don't know how many guys you can say on the Patriots that they are good NFL receivers, especially in this system where they're productive.
Fred says 5.
He doesn't have to be, you know, the dynamic number 1A and just be like, there's a place on the roster for guys like this. And if I'm making a team, a guy like Jacoby Myers can play on my team all the time. I don't care if he's a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5,
But
whatever he is.
I agree with
he
that.
He catches balls, he gets open, and, you know, separation, explosive, take all that stuff and chuck it. Like, he has a spot for me.
Well, yeah, I don't think anybody's taking his spot away. Andy's point yesterday was if he's the best that you have, you're not good enough. No one's taking his spot
That's
away.
the point. I agree with that point. I thought he was just saying whatever with him, let him walk.
No. I'm like you guys know me. I'm 1,000% on
Andy
the
loves
Jacoby Myers.
He just doesn't
train.
think he's that
right.
that
Now,
a true number one.
But I think
that was Eric, right? That just
Yeah.
he just got like the only thing I would say like so. What have you seen from Tyquan? First of all, I think they've incorporated Tyquan Thornton plenty. I think he plays a lot. I think he's gotten some opportunities here and there, and I think that's building. But what have you seen from him to indicate that you should throw a screen to him because he's dynamic with the ball in his hands? I haven't seen any of that.
No,
he had that one play in Cleveland.
He had a couple of end arounds that he was untouched.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's one where he could have, but he just simply outran everybody.
But there was nobody there on a screen, like with Sauce Gardner in his face, the way that play was. Because he's fast, that doesn't do anything for you. He has to break tackles, make guys miss, and I'm not telling you he can't do that. I'm just saying I haven't seen him be put in that situation yet.
No.
Like, why do I know that?
And I think they should. I mean, I think that's a good play for him as a guy who can build up speed,
Yes.
and if they can block it, he can break it.
Here's the thing. If you have him on a screen, is that requiring Sauce Gardner to play off of him because she's worried about him running by him, where he's not playing off of Jacoby Myers? That's an argument I could get with.
Yeah.
Like, I can understand that line of thought. Like, he's going to command more respect because of his deep speed. But I still look at him as, like, he's small. And I just look, every time I see him in traffic, I feel like he's going to break.
Me too. And there's been too much of him, and that's been too much of his career so far, is catching balls in traffic, blocking down on the line. I mean, I want to see more of him. I mean, this is probably to Eric's point of in space and hitting him on that quick slant that they try to hit a Parker on the first play of every game. Try that with him. You know, like get him in open space, cool it with the stuff underneath with him. But I agree with the general point. You got to get him involved.
Absolutely.
And,
I'm with
just
Eric on
continue
that,
to keep him growing. I don't want to see him stagnate. I want to see him be one of the guys that really starts.
But
to
I just wanted to
elevate
defend the big head a little bit because his point was if
All
he's
right,
the best that you have, you're probably not good. And that's what the whole soup thing came from.
I answered the question I thought I was asked, not the question that actually was asked.
John has a warning for us on the web radio page.
We should get a lot. We should get a lot of warnings.
He says, please discuss the Colts. Don't overlook the next opponent. So he just wants to make sure that
we got to stay focused.
I, for one, am not overlooking the Colts. I learned my lesson, taught to me by one Fred Kirsch, and I'm not being at all ironic or sarcastic. I do not overlook the opponents. I only had one on the schedule that I overlooked, and I got burned by it. Chicago.
Yeah, we are not penciling in wins here.
No. Especially after last year what the Colts did. I know it's a different team, but they took it. They played.
If Jonathan
really well.
Taylor plays, don't tell me that can't happen again.
Right.
Like if he's reasonably healthy. Now, if he can't run and he can't play, that's different. But don't tell me that he can't run the ball 25 times and end up with 150 yards.
Who's their new temporary coordinator, offensive coordinator?
Oh, God, I'm not sure.
I mean, like that's kind of irrelevant too because Frank Reich calls the plays.
Oh, okay. No, that's
so.
All right.
This is that's another Ursay thing to me.
That's funny. So what do they fire him for?
Right.
Because he's not coming up with good plans.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's not holding the wire right.
All the talk of like the mechanism here. It's like, what is it there?
Mike's in Puerto Rico. Hey, Mike.
Hey guys, how y'all doing?
Good.
Is Evan there today?
He'll be here later.
Okay. I just want to address. I know I mentioned a couple of points yesterday about Deuce and Paul, but on Evan, he made a comment that really stuck in my craw yesterday, saying that he didn't know why people were so bothered about the pick six that came back because of the flag. The quote unquote the play actually never happened. And so my retort to that would be, so if your girlfriend, fiance, wife is flirting with another guy, you really shouldn't get bothered because she's going home with you. She went home with you, type of situation.
I mean,
I'm not sure that it's an apples to apples comparison.
It's not terrible though.
But
it
did register with me when he said that the play never
Well,
actually
yeah.
happened. It did
It
happen.
did
It did happen.
It did happen. The penalty didn't make it.
Right.
The penalty had
It's
no
not
effect
like-
on the
it's
play.
not like right.
There was
it's not
pass
like-
interference on the play.
Yeah.
Right. It's not like Myers got held.
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's why.
Right.
You know.
I mean, he threw the ball. Like
Right.
I mean, I'm with the caller on this one. That play still
And I don't.
bothers me.
And I said the beginning of the week, and I'm no more or less convinced. I have no idea who was at fault. I just know that they've talked about a communication issue, but the play happened.
The play happened.
Like if you don't want to blame Mac, that's fine. You don't have to blame Mac, but I can't pretend it didn't happen.
And
it was a very fortunate
It's a dismissive
reversal.
of how he said it. Oh, why are people so hot and bothered about it?
I can't argue with that. I am guilty of tonality problems often.
And we do that with fumbles a lot too. If they're recovered by the same team, you know, it's like, well, at least you recover.
Right.
He still fumbled.
the
it.
strip sack
That's a good
doesn't
point,
become
too.
a better play because Cole
Right.
Strange recovered it.
Right.
And I think it's a context of the situation where he's been throwing balls like that all season long, and it was just another one. Like if it had not been happening a lot, you'd probably be willing to overlook it, like he said. But like that's what they've been doing. And you're talking about his best receiver. They're not on the same page. It's the middle of October, so I think that's at least if it's not an indictment on Mac Jacoby, it's the chemistry.
The offense. Can we just make it an indictment of the offense that hasn't been able to protect the ball all year?
Yeah.
And even though they only gave it away once in that game, we've illustrated there was a very good chance that they could have had 4.
Yeah. See, we see even the greatest quarterbacks make really dumb passes like that. We saw Aaron Rodgers in the game that we just played them, and Brady's made them, Bledsoe made them. They all make them. But then they also make the other plays to make up for it. So you forget about that play. Mac's not doing that right now.
Forgot to tell you that. Yeah.
What?
I got to see Drew on Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where were you?
I was walking out. He was coming in.
What's he doing
Did you
here?
say sup?
I don't know. I did. I talked to him for a quick second.
Did you?
Not sure he remembered me, but that's okay.
Really?
I remembered him. He remembered me.
I'd
I'm
love
not
to
sure.
see Paul talking to Drew Bledsoe.
I'm not sure.
That's maybe a bucket list
I'm not sure
PU
he
item
knew.
for
Yeah,
me.
Zoe had told us he was coming, and I guess him and
He's coming.
him and
It's Santa!
Mankins were
It's
here to
Santa!
do something, and Zoe was waiting for him out front. I left, and I was talking to Zoe, and then Drew comes walking across the Broadway.
There he is.
Hey, how you doing? He shakes my hand, and I was like, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I bet you I could win $100 by asking him what my name is right now.
How you doing?
Yeah, I got one of those.
Are you kidding, Paul? Of course I know you. You're my biggest fan.
He should know that. That the restraining order should have that name. embedded.
Legally, I'm not allowed within 10 feet of you, but.
Willem's and Philem. What's up, Willem?
What's going on, Fred? How you doing, man?
Good.
All right. 2 questions, just real fast. No, matter of fact, no. One is not a question. Mac just need to calm down with these intercepts. I'm him throwing the ball, to the other teams, but he has to knock some of that off. I know it all ain't on him, but some of that is on him. I mean, he got to stop that. He look dumb doing that. Like, you just, I get you don't trust the offensive line, but he got to stop doing that. And last but not least, okay, so this one's for Paul. Paul, for 2021, we had, let me get it right, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, Jacoby Myers, and N'Keal Harry, correct?
Yeah. Last year?
Okay.
And Gunner.
Okay, right. So in 2022, so we add Devontae Parker.
Yeah.
And we also drafted Twyquan Thornton, but we got rid of N'Keal Harry, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Did we get better?
We should have gotten better, in my opinion.
They did.
Okay.
But I mean, Parker's has already given you. I mean, even though he hasn't been a huge impact, he's already given you more than Harry did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've gotten better.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And simply the
Yeah.
intrigue of
No, that's why,
Thornton's
like,
speed.
I'll say it again. I said it yesterday. I'm at a loss as to why they're not better. The problem is we've seen it since the summer that there's something wrong with this offense. That it's just not clicking. I believe they've got the pieces, but it's not clicking. Yeah.
And last but not least, real fast, can we please see what 4.28 speed look like? I am dying to see what this dude can do so bad. I really am.
Yeah.
Are we talking about now?
Taekwon Thornton?
Am I the only one that watches the games and sees him play?
I know, but
like they throw a bomb to him like every week.
No, they don't. They didn't last week.
Well, they didn't last week because they were getting killed, but they did the week before.
Yeah.
Right? Right down the sideline, right in front of the Patriots bench.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about throwing it down deep. Like,
Yes, deep.
Like
That was a deep ball that Mac just missed him because I think he got rushed just a little bit. The protection has been an issue. The pass protection has been an issue. It's why a couple of weeks ago I kind of pushed back, like, how much better has the offensive line been? Yeah, it was better than the first week when they had guys that were completely untouched come in. That hasn't happened. But I don't think the pass protection has been great.
Yeah, and what does that kill? Your deep shots, right?
Yeah.
Like your 7-step.
Yeah.
Yeah. Take care, gentlemen.
All right. Thanks, William.
I mean, I kind of liked it. I think Thornton has been incorporated into the offense a little bit. I think he's been involved more than I thought he was going to be before the season started. Certainly after he went on IR.
Yeah.
So did I. And I don't mean this as a shot at Josh, but I just wonder if there was an element of Josh had the willies about rookies a little bit. Like, I just wonder if that was maybe somewhat of a Josh thing on younger guys. I'm not putting it on him. I'm just saying.
Bill thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Let's go to Todd, North Carolina. Hey, Todd.
Hey, guys. Just wondering, if you could fix one of these two things, what would you do? The tackle situation or the run defense? What would you figure would be
Tackle.
Because I think the run defense has moments where it's okay. The tackle situation has been not good consistently.
You'll win games if you can't stop the run all that great. You won't win games if you can't protect the quarterback and you can't throw the ball.
Yeah.
So how long before we get one of our rookies back? The guy that's on the injury area that's on our thing. Because I think we need to put something new in there for tackle. Because I can't see them. Even Mr. Brown is missing his blocks and letting people by him. It just doesn't seem like it's a motivated or
well, he's inconsistent. He has some good games / plays and others where he takes it off. So
I mean, everybody's healthy now. Kajust is back. So I mean, Wynn. I'm not sure if he was. I don't think he was on the. Was he on the report yesterday? But
Wynn is not on the.
And the guy they drafted, he wasn't a tackle, right? Hines?
Chasen Hines?
Chasen Hines was
he's
an inside
interior guy.
Stuber was a right tackle at Michigan.
Okay. But he's hurt?
Yeah.
He's on NFI, I believe, but he also was a 7th-round pick. He's not playing.
Right.
Yeah, he's nothing. Okay, so basically...
I didn't say he's nothing. I said he's not. He was a 7th-round pick. He's not going to play.
Yeah.
He's never even suited up this year.
Well, David Andrews wasn't even drafted. You never know. You never know.
But he didn't.
Okay.
He didn't miss the whole.
Thanks,
camp.
Todd. Why? What are people doing in the background while they're talking to us? They're like rearranging their desk, or something.
Multitasking.
Yeah,
Formulating agenda.
all this. He's back from yesterday. He did not get discouraged. It's Spee in Fresno. What's up, Spee?
Chicken. You call in when Evan's not here.
Yeah, I don't know if I should.
You want to get smacked around again like you did yesterday.
You know, I wanted to call, but we're too busy packing for our 5th anniversary trip, so unfortunately I had to make the call before he got there.
Nice.
Where you going?
Congrats.
I do want to tattle on him. I do want to tattle on him a little bit.
That's okay.
Because afterwards,
He's
I
a big boy.
listened to his show. I listened to his show.
Yeah.
And he was. I think they just basically he has no respect for the quarterback position. I think he basically thinks of it like Bill does. Like he doesn't. They have this concept they were bandying about. They call it net neutral quarterback. They basically think that now is the era of the game manager. I mean, maybe I'm putting up a straw man version of it, but I'd like to hear Paul, because I think eventually Paul is going to have a total blow up at Evan. It's going to be great. But no,
You guys can tee me up if you want. If that's what you're looking for, I give the people what they want. If you guys,
I mean, I was like, okay, what are the quarterbacks that have won you his title in the past decade? And, you know, I mean, yeah, maybe you look at Nick Foles, who's a bit of a schlub, but that was a little bit of an asterisk.
Yeah, if you go back,
you don't have Josh Allen, you don't have Mahomes, and you don't have a great quarterback.
Yeah, but
you want your quarterback to be a game manager.
But I would argue on Spee's behalf. I would agree. I think if you look at the last 20, 25 years, there are outliers, but for the most part, the Super Bowl winning quarterback is widely considered to be one of the best quarterbacks in football.
Yeah, and that's just not. I don't think that's how they look at it. They live in an alternate universe where the quarterback. I just don't think they think the quarterback matters as much. And I want Evan to get the chance to push back against that. But I think that might maybe what he really feels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like. I've never heard Evan say anything like that to defend him a little bit.
And that's why I think yesterday's argument was a little like he came out hot on that, and I was a little bit surprised of that he was just so. And when I say weapons, I kind of include the offensive coordinator in that because I feel like an offensive coordinator in some ways is part of that operation. And I mean, I think that was what the gist of the argument was. I mean, the way Spee's saying it, I agree. I mean, it doesn't matter. Is Matt good enough that if you gave him the weapons, would he be great? I'm still not convinced.
And I don't know. And that was where I think they kind of got spun when Spee went to the tour angle, and that's when Evan really
all hell broke
bristled.
loose.
Which is why I had to get involved at that point because now we got conflict. I had to get in. I couldn't just let that slide.
There was one thing, and this is kind of where I think the most conflict could be brought about if you bring this net neutral quarterback idea. When I listed off the quarterbacks for the past decade, from Russell Wilson up to Matt Stafford, I was like, these guys are not neutral game managers. Evan's response, I only heard afterwards when I listened back, but he was basically like, yeah, that's there can only be one winner, Steve. Like he said it with the tonality, with the all 22 tone. Like
there's an all 22 tone.
Please don't pretend that there's not.
There can only be one winner. You know, Paul, I think I'm on your side. I think the all 22ers are a little bit woke for me.
Yeah, and that was another one that was sort of like
they're woke and wonk,
taken in a different direction. Like I don't like all 22ers. No, all 22ers don't like me. There's a huge difference.
Watch the tape, Paul. Watch the tape, then you'd know.
Correct.
Then you'd know.
And if you don't, well, Mike, why am I wasting my time talking to you?
Quarterbacks
you didn't even watch the tape. If you watch the tape, you'd know quarterbacks don't matter.
Just get Tyreek Hill. It'll be
net
fine.
neutral quarterbacks.
Yeah.
How many net neutral quarterbacks
I guess that's
have won
better
a Super
than
Bowl?
a quarterback that hurts you, but I'd rather have a quarterback that's a plus.
But I mean, I just look at. I mean, if you go back, and like I said, there are always outliers. There's a Brad Johnson. There's a Trent Dilfer.
Right.
Those are the actual quarterbacks of their team. Like, I don't really even count Nick Foles.
All-time great defenses.
Because the Eagles don't go to the Super Bowl if Nick Foles was their quarterback all year. It's like Jeff Hostetler. Yeah, they won the actual game with that guy, but they wouldn't have been in that game with that guy. Right? Like, if Carson Wentz didn't play at an MVP level in 2017, the Eagles wouldn't have been to the Super Bowl.
And that's like another level of it too. Is I think there's also a category of guys that just played awesome in January. Eli Manning just played awesome in
Joe
January.
Flacco
Got in.
I would say Joe
played awesome
Flacco
in
is
January.
my guy, Flacco, who I always like more than most.
Yeah.
He's the guy that was an average quarterback who got hot that year, and I think he had something like 13 touchdowns, no picks.
Yeah.
Outlier.
Well, you saw the Patriots play.
Well, it's like the Titans.
He never
win
he
it all
never-
with Ryan Tannehill.
He never did again. Yeah, and I would say no.
Yeah.
Well, you saw the Patriots play so many playoff games, but those games popped up a few times. We were like, how the hell are we losing to this guy? But it's just sometimes those guys.
Oh, like Mark Sanchez?
Yeah. You know, some like every now and then, some random playoff quarterback had the game of his life, you know, and Eli Manning did it twice.
Well, we're on video today, so everyone can see what I'm about to say. But Evan.
You just misspeak.
But Evan.
Evan has returned from practice. Evan has returned from practice. Yeah, Evan has returned from practice. What was the mood? Who wasn't there? What did he see?
All right, Evan. Give us the 411.
Okay, well,
Oh.
I think I'm on.
There
There we
you
go.
are.
There we go. So, same attendance as yesterday, but Marcus Cannon also not present for the start of Patriots practice today.
Yeah.
So, David Andrews, Damian Harris, Devontae Parker, and Marcus Cannon missing. We do not know why Marcus Cannon is missing, of course. We'll find out in a few hours. But Isaiah Wynn, Yadni Kajust, starting right tackle on Sunday.
DeForest Buckner.
We were hoping
At least
that
have
you'd
to
come
talk
back
about
and
it.
tell us at least David Andrews was back.
I know. We were
He
hoping.
is not.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, yeah, it hurts because he's a guy, but also I'm like, you kind of hurting you a lot. So I don't know. Maybe it's like one of those things where this is one of those injuries where I guess we just have to give Yadni Kajust a chance and maybe it works out. But I mean, I don't know. I find hard getting.
Suddenly becomes one of those no one thought we could do it wins, and then we go into the bye and it's
Right.
We found Kajust. I mean, he's playing out of his mind.
we got
blocking
Kajust.
guys.
Marcus Cannon last week allowed 8 hurries.
I know. So it's like, how do you take that guy out of the lineup and not
8
be like,
hurries.
I mean, how much worse can it get? No matter if
that-
you like
that would
stuck
be-
somebody else in there.
that would be my argument. It would be deemed to be negative somehow. I don't,
8 hurries, and he got Mac hit as he threw on the interception. So a turnover, basically a direct result of Marcus Cannon's play as well. He's a 6th offensive lineman at this stage.
Yeah, and everybody's like, well, why didn't they trade Wynn? Well, that's kind of why, because they know they need the depth,
right?
Yeah,
that's a great point. Like all of a sudden now you're like,
yeah,
screw giving Yadni Kajust a chance. It's like, oh, please save us, Yadni.
Now, we
Kajust.
talked about the injury report a little bit, Ev, before you came back. McCourty was back out there.
He was.
I know it was
out
listed
there
as not
yesterday.
injury related, but he was.
Yeah,
back
he was out there yesterday, and a lot of people, when he was walking through the locker room during open locker room, were giving him a hard time. 2 interceptions, you don't have to practice anymore.
Veteran rest.
That sort of thing. So veteran rest for Devin McCourty yesterday.
I like how all the other teams call it, veteran rest, and we just say not injury related.
So
Don't you worry about it.
Outside
Don't
in
worry about
shells.
In shells, yeah. No lower pads, no big shoulder pads today, just the light shoulder pads.
And without Andrews there, was the mood down a little? Because,
It was a quick
Continues
one.
to be down.
Stretching only
Yeah.
today after we got a little bit of an extended look yesterday. So with these quick ones, the mood is very efficient, right? Like, we got to take attendance, we got to take our picture, and we got to get out of there. Like,
You didn't
there's
learn
no-
anything.
No.
You're still layered up. It's like 75 out there today.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
He wanted to grab.
That brought the mood down yesterday.
I'm hot. I'm sweating.
It's another gray
hot, I'm
sweatshirt
cold, I'm
day.
thirsty.
Yesterday, Josh Uche was making fun of me for always wearing gray hoodies.
What?
And
Yeah.
Uche.
and we say they don't notice. They notice everything.
Oh, yeah.
Tell you that all the time.
Why don't you worry less about what I'm wearing and more about getting after the quarterback? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Oh,
this guy.
Oh,
You are
I
no longer
didn't say
sneaky.
that.
You are no longer sneaky negative.
So will they have the gray pants for this game?
I don't know, Fred. That's a question for you.
Yeah,
Are they-
I don't know.
That's not another uniform combo that has to be aced.
I'm not sure.
for good because they
No,
lost.
I think the rule is you lose 2 in a row in them, right? Isn't
that
that
it?
Yeah.
I can't remember who, but that was actually a Burge Nadirian call
Really?
to wear the silver pants. Yes,
Yeah,
Burge was the one that recommended it apparently, and that's
Yeah.
why they wore the silver pants.
Yeah.
I like it.
I like it.
I
But
like
it
You like
clashes
that.
with the helmet.
I do agree with that, though.
I don't think it matched.
No, it doesn't match. So we got to change
You don't
the
want to
helmet
be too
to match the
matchy-matchy,
pants.
though. You got to, subtle shades.
I don't think the outfit looked right.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to match purple for Holy Cross. We always had a lot of trouble, like gloves, equipment, pants. Like you could never get
different shades of purple.
The right purple. Tough to find.
Yeah. 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah.
50 Shades of
Cool
Purple.
story, Hansel.
What else you
Matt
got for
liked
us?
it.
Anything else going on out there? No.
No, not much else going on. I think, like I said, and I think everybody in the room, I think, would support the fact that maybe it is time to give Yadnik just a look at right tackle. It can't be worse.
Right.
At least some playing time. You know,
Yeah.
if you don't want to like just line him up and say he's my starter and he's going to go 65 plays today, get his feet wet.
Wasn't he getting? I'm forgetting now. Was he getting a look in camp a little bit?
He
Like,
was.
did
Yeah.
we feel it? Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Like,
he
felt
got,
like
he got
was-
significant snaps
Yeah.
in camp, I would say.
I mean, this is why you've been patient with this guy for 3 years, right? Because he's got talent. And
Yeah.
I think the number one thing that he has over a guy like Cannon is he's got athleticism. He can move his feet.
Young legs.
He really does have that. And so that was the calling card coming out of West Virginia, was a really good pass protector, somebody that kept Will Grier clean throughout his career at West Virginia, and why he put up such great numbers in that offense. A lot of it was protection, and Yadnik could just on the blind side or on his right side earlier on in his career at West Virginia, then he flipped over to left tackle, was a big part of that. So I would love to see them give him a chance.
I just remember, I think it was like 2020, he was briefly practicing, and I remember Josh going, Yadni, at some point the light has to come on and stay on.
Yeah.
So,
It's that mean Josh McDaniels again.
so mean.
Cause of all the problems.
If he hadn't yelled at him, he'd probably already be in the Pro Bowl. Come on, Josh.
So, concern level with Damian Harris?
It's an illness.
He'd be illin'. I don't know. I guess I'm so enamored with Ramondre right now. I don't really. I kind of see Harris as like the B option, and
I
think,
do too. But
so-
don't you feel better about having the two of them available?
Yeah.
So you don't get the.
Yeah, but I'm also still flirting with. I'd love to see Pierce Strong or Harris get a little more action. I'd love to just see it. I'd love to see it.
I'm not as excited about that.
I want to set up for next year. I mean, I think this is how it's
like,
going to look.
why are we giving up?
I'm not giving up. I'm just saying,
you're right.
I'd like to know. I'd like to have a little.
I want to be at full
Pierce Strong
strength
at those games.
You know, I think Damian Harris is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't want Damian Harris, but it's 1 week against the Colts before the bye week. I think they'll be all right if he can't go.
The Colts have the 6th-ranked run defense in the league
Yeah,
right now.
and I wasn't
by
suggesting
DVOA.
they're going to lose the game if Damian Harris can't play in it.
Yeah.
No, and that's
That
why
wasn't-
I'm,
that
that's
wasn't
why
my
I took-
inference.
That's why my needle ain't
I think
moving.
Ramondre Stevenson is at his best when he doesn't have to do it all by himself. Now,
Last week he did it all by himself.
Yeah, no, but I mean, he didn't have to play. He didn't get the amount of carries that he got in the Detroit game,
Fair.
and that was his best game. So that counter, that's a counter argument for what I just said.
But I'm just thinking about down the road. You want to give him some blows during the game.
Well, that's I guess
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Um,
I'm all in favor of Stevenson as the number one guy, and then Harris fills in when Stevenson gives a little helmet tap.
Evan, if there's one
rest.
thing on the part of the Patriots that keeps them from winning on Sunday, what would you say it is?
Pass protection.
Yeah, we all agree. Yeah.
I mean, this is a legitimate Colts defensive front. DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart. Just like Bill, I'm not going to try to pronounce their edge rushers' names. Yannick Ngakoue is the one that I can get.
Imagine that's the one that we can pronounce.
Quiddy Pay.
Yeah.
That's another one that we can do. Yeah. So those guys are legit. I mean, it's a legit rush. It's not. They're 12th in the league right now in pressure rate, but they're getting pressure with 4 because this is that Gus Bradley Seattle 3 system. They don't blitz a lot. So they're getting pressure with 4 guys pretty consistently, and interior pressure in particular with Buckner and Stewart. I think Grover Stewart's one of the more underrated players in the league. Doesn't get talked a lot about because Buckner is next to him, but those two guys inside are as good of a tandem as you're going to face on the interior line all season long. And I think the big thing that you saw with Cole Strange and James Ferentz is not just block-to-block technique and execution. They're undersized there with those two guys. They're already a little bit undersized with Andrews and Cole Strange, and James Ferentz is smaller than David Andrews is, so that's going to be a problem. They're getting the pocket collapsed on Mac Jones and the interior pressure, not being able to run the football again. That's going to be a significant problem for the offense this week.
And one of those guys that Evan just mentioned as being a key part of that front, he didn't practice yesterday either. Grant Stewart. pectoral injury. So I don't know if that is a torn pec.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah.
what that is, but he didn't practice yesterday either. So big list of DNPs for the Colts.
If the
yesterday.
game is close, score-wise, will the Patriots have more runs or passes?
Runs?
I don't know.
I think they'll probably have more runs. Anyway.
What do you think? What do you think the game plan is?
Evan?
It can't be to run the ball.
No.
Unless Grover Stewart's out, then maybe I guess you have a little bit more success. But the way they've been blocking the last couple of weeks, and this is, like I mentioned, 6th ranked run defense by DVOA, Football Outsiders, on the season is the Colts. They got good team speed. They got good linebackers. They got good D-line play.
Can I just correct myself?
Yes.
It's Grant Stewart, not Grover Stewart.
Okay, so Grover's fine.
Different guy.
So that,
Lots of
yeah.
Stewarts.
Yep.
I'm a Stewart.
My bad.
Unless they do a total 180 with the way that they've been run blocking in the last, I would even say month. I mean, I go back to the Detroit game. I know Ramondre rushed for 160, but 111 of them came after contact. So he's doing it all on his own pretty much in that game. Same thing on Sunday against the Jets. So I don't know if they're going to be able to run the football against these guys. So what I would like to see, again, I'll keep banging the table for the RPOs. I'll do it again. I would love to see some of that type of stuff, though. Jet motion, RPO, things to get the ball outside on the perimeter on these guys. But what I love so much about the RPOs is that when it works, it's easy yards, right? You know, you're throwing it out to the screen to Jacoby Myers, and you're getting 5, 6, 7, 8 yards on first down, and now we're ahead of schedule, and we can open up the playbook. So that's the biggest thing that you can use those with. And when you can't block, I mean, we talked about Tua yesterday. I'm sure we'll talk about this a little bit more today. Last season, Miami, in his first 2 seasons, really, couldn't block anybody. So they led the league in RPO rate because it just gets the ball out of his hands quickly. Mm-hmm. It lightens the box. It allows the whole thing to run without the offensive line being a driving force.
I'm just picturing you pleading to this to Matt Patricia in a press conference
all the time. I asked about it again yesterday.
But as he was saying it, I was thinking to myself, and I don't know the answer to this question, but have you ever given any thought to that, like getting into coaching at some level?
No. 2 reasons why. One, you flatter me. I don't think
I didn't say you'd be good at it. Don't take it as a compliment.
I don't think I'm on that level by any means.
I didn't mean as the NFL level. I'm talking about
Pop Warner.
Well, high school
somewhere.
You know.
Yeah.
Secondly, the hours that the coaching staff puts in. Yeah. I mean, we put in a lot of hours as media, but the coaching staff doubles it, and I have no desire to do that whatsoever.
I would say, just from my perspective, having played hockey and then coached hockey, it's one thing to know the game. It's a whole new challenge to get people to play the game that way together.
I loved it.
That was so hard. Such a challenge. Me too. But such a challenge. I've never had a more unique challenge than that. Bunch of dudes. Everybody loves hockey. Everybody plays different.
If you like to teach, that's what coaching is.
Yeah.
It's teaching. Patty's in Agawam on the Ace Ticket Hotline. What's up, Patty?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hey, Patty.
So a couple things, and then I got a question for you guys. First thing, when you guys first hired Evan, I was just waiting for him and Paul to get into it. So the end of yesterday's show was awesome.
What about with speed?
We aim to please.
When you guys were talking about quarterbacks heating up in January, Paul, you'll appreciate this. For the longest time, I called Aaron Rodgers a poor man's Joe Flacco for his run in 2010.
Oof.
Yeah, do you want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi.
And my question is, this week I'm not really looking for style points. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just hoping that they, I can see this being an ugly game. I just want them to get in, get out, hopefully get the win. Don't get any more guys on the injury report,
right,
and hopefully rest up in the bye week and come back a little bit healthy and see what they can do for the second half of the season.
I agree.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Patty.
I mean, would you agree that this game's going to be on Mac then? I mean, it feels like that's the direction it's trending. If they can't really run, especially if they get behind.
Well, the defense.
I mean, of course, but generally,
I kind of agree with Evan. I think that they'll probably try to throw the ball a little bit because I don't think they'll be able to just run roughshod over the Colts. But if they force turnovers and mistakes and take advantage of, then I think they can create separation and win going away like they did Sunday. But if they don't do that, then I don't know what's going to happen.
I guess the question then is how conservative do you expect them to be? Do you expect them to start to be more aggressive with Mac? I mean, all the things that Evan mentioned, those, maybe are more schematic things more so than, let's just say, spread them and let Mac make the calls at the line and, maybe go hurry up and try to, get them on their heels a little bit. And I guess I'm going to be a little bit disappointed if they go into this game and it feels like, all right, Mac, don't lose it for us. Just take what's there, and if it's not, take a knee. I want to see them try to push it a little bit.
Don't listen to Joe Judge's press conference from Tuesday then. You don't want to.
Very, very
you do have to pick your spots with this defense because they play that Seattle 3-zone defense in the back end, which is totally designed to take away big plays. So they're not going to give up explosive plays through the air easily, and then they rush the passer well. So if you go into this game and you play the Bruce Arians offense we saw through the first 3 weeks of the season, I think you're asking for trouble. Yeah. I really do. But when they get into man coverage, I know they have Gilmore now, but other than Gilmore, they've been pretty vulnerable in man coverage.
Deuce is such a fan. You're such a fan. Wow. Open it up. Take shots.
I'm going to be disappointed.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm over the holding, the hand holding, and I don't want
I don't see I don't think
to
it's
me
necessarily
it's,
hand
but
holding.
isn't it game plan to win?
Exactly. See, to me, taking shots doesn't necessarily mean, or taking what's there doesn't necessarily mean you're holding his hand. I want him to just see the field. That doesn't mean take shots, but hit Hunter Henry underneath instead of trying to force it to Jacoby Myers. To me, that's not holding his hand when he's doing that. That's him looking at and seeing the field and spreading the ball. So
they'll have some opportunities against them when they play man. They play a ton of zone, right? It's 80% zone, 20% man. But they will play man on third down. And even the Commanders, I don't know if the Patriots have anybody as good as Terry McLaurin, but even the Commanders were able to beat them in man coverage pretty consistently. So when they see man, I do think you might see checks at the line and some head tapping and stuff like that from Mac Jones and say, hey, let's get something here. Let's get Tyquan up the field. Let's get Jacoby Myers on a deep crosser. Let's try to attack this a little bit. When they play zone, you, like what Fred's saying, can't go broke taking a profit. You just have to take what's there because that's what the way that these defenses are designed.
He even has all the cliches down. I'm telling you, do it.
I liked yesterday. Sunshine. He said his old coach used to call him.
Can't go broke.
Call him Sunshine.
That was big when I was on.
Yeah.
They were like, do you know what Mac Jones just said?
Let's go to Deshaun in Virginia. What's up, Deshaun?
Hello, guys. How you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
Sorry, I'm a little bit congested. I'm a little bit congested right now.
Okay.
But what I want to touch on was with what Paul said earlier about Mac just making a play. I could basically kind of say the same thing for his personnel that's around him as well. I think they need to start making plays as well because everything should be schemed for them just to do so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Everybody needs to step up.
Yeah, the offense hasn't played great.
What scheme?
Yeah. Well, I would say a scheme like they had on the touchdown play on the fourth down, which
that was
I know they've tried that so many times and failed, but there was good scheme involved in that.
I thought in the Jets game there are two things that I was three things I'll give them the coaching staff credit for. One, the hurry up in the second half I thought was a nice wrinkle. Two, I love the RPOs, and three, the touchdown to Jacoby where they motioned him out of the backfield. But I go and I watch, these other teams across the league, even the Colts, who offensively just fired their offensive coordinator. And you see disguise, you see misdirection, you see motion, you see play action, you see RPO, you see all these different bells and whistles that they use to get their fast guys the football in space, whether it's Indianapolis and it's Jonathan Taylor, or it's Paris Campbell, or it was Naheem Hines before they traded him. And I'll go back to the Dolphins because I just love what they're doing from a schematic standpoint. Obviously, Tyquan Thornton is not Tyreek Hill, but Tyquan Thornton's got speed like Tyreek Hill to some degree, right? And the lack of creativity to get Tyquan into space with the football in his hands.
Do you think any of that
troubling.
has to do with the fact that, you're a coordinator, it comes from the defensive side of the ball and,
I absolutely. And I think that that's sort of the design of the offense, that maybe they're not there yet because they don't have the wherewithal to design
They
these
don't have
types
the
of plays
background.
like
Yeah.
Mike McDaniel
Yeah.
would, for example, or Frank Reich, who's a
Right.
offensive coach. But what bugs me about it is that you would think, as a defensive-minded coach, you would say, man, that really gives us problems. Like when teams motion guys at the snap, when we run all these fakes and misdirection in the backfield, and we have to read it out from a defense's perspective, like that always stresses the defense. That always gives us problems. So as an offensive guy, like if we're reverse engineering this, which is the credit I want to give them, then shouldn't we be looking at it and saying, well, we should do more of that? Because when I watch Miami play, and I watch what they do with Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, they scheme up so many different ways to just create foot races, like a game of tag. And like their guys are so much faster than everybody else's guys that it's just ball in space for Tyreek Hill with 40 yards of field to work with, and good luck tackling him
space.
at that point.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question, Evan? Because we got a call earlier. Someone was, kind of commenting on what your perspective was on the offensive coordinator.
Was
the
it
offense?
Spee?
No. The offense in general early in the season. And
Yeah.
I mean, and I said, he felt like you were a little bit higher on the offense then, and it feels like you're down on the offensive coordination now. Like, just from the point you first saw things going on in minicamp and OTAs to this point now, what has been just kind of your overall evaluation and just your overall feeling of what they're trying to do on offense? And do you feel like they are headed in a right direction? And I know the RPO stuff is part of that, but just overall, how have you seen things go? And what have just your reaction been to what you've seen when, all right, they're doing a bunch of wide zone stuff and now they're doing this and that, over the last 6 months?
So I like the fact that they have had the wherewithal to recognize what works and what doesn't work, right? So the wide zone stuff, for example, it doesn't work all summer long, didn't work really to start the season. They've run it more. We actually ran the numbers earlier this week. They've run it a little bit more than what they did last year, but they've recognized that that's not going to be their base play. Like they're not going to run that like the Niners run it or like the Rams run it, because they're just not good enough at it yet. So they've more or less put that on the back burner. I wouldn't say they've thrown it in the trash can, but they put it in the back burner. So I like the fact that they've evolved a little bit in terms of, okay, this is what we came into the season thinking we were going to be good at, but we're actually not very good at that, so we're going to pivot. The thing that concerns me about their play calling and their play design, I would say it's more play design concerns, but in general is that I feel like I just mentioned, there's once or twice a game where I'm like, oh, that was creative. That was good, right? Leak. When they ran leak, and I went crazy in the press box. When they run RPOs.
Mike and I were like, I'm a little worried right now.
Paul just took a leak. What happened? What happened, Paul?
But that play, the reason why I get so excited is because it feels like in 8 games, there's so few times where I'm just like, yes, like that's
There's a modern concept.
That's coordinating. That's play calling. Like you have been running this play.
That's how you debate.
With cross or post all for a month. And then you added the leak route onto that as a complementary play, and you got a wide open touchdown. Good job, Matt Patricia. Like, that is how you do it, okay? But I can only say that once or twice a game. And I'm not saying I used to say it 100 times a game with Josh McDaniels necessarily either, but with McDaniels, I said it a lot more. And I would also just mention that once they run out of it, that's it.
Yeah.
Like they have like 2 things in their bag. Like on Sunday against the Jets, it was the motion play on 4th down to Jacoby, and it was hurry up. Like that was their aces in the hole, right? Like that was what was in their back pocket.
So do you think it's safe to say that they've discovered what doesn't work for them, but they haven't really discovered what does work for them? Like it just seems like we're crossing things. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Like it seems like they aren't finding, this is what we can do. They it seems like every year they find like, all right, I don't know of anything else, but this is one thing that we know we can do. I don't know what that is yet.
I just feel like it's simple. Like, and that doesn't necessarily matter when you have elite playmakers. Like I always go back to what Belichick said about the early 2000s Colts, because they were 11 personnel. Yep. It was Reggie Wayne and Stokely over here. It was Marvin over there. It was Peyton at the line of scrimmage. And they were just so damn good that it didn't matter that they were predictable. Okay, the Rams before Belichick
What
figured
about
them
Dallas
out.
Clark?
Dallas. No.
They're 11
He doesn't know that
personnel
one
with
yet.
Dallas Clark as well. There you go. And the Rams, until Belichick figured them out, really, to give Patricia credit, he kind of started it, but regardless, until the Patriots figured them out in the Super Bowl, they were 11 personnel on like 99% of their plays, right? They just did one thing, and they did it so well that nobody could stop it. When you have teams like that, you can do that. But the Patriots, to me, don't have the personnel where they can just win one-on-one consistently across the board enough that they're able to move the football at a high rate. So when I watch some of these other teams, like I think we're going to see it on Sunday with the Colts, they have a young quarterback who's in his second career start, and Frank Reich is known for having wrinkles, for having little gadget plays and things that you just aren't really used to seeing on a week-to-week basis. And I look at Miami again, and I look at Buffalo, and I look at all these teams, and they just do such a great job of manufacturing plays for their playmakers to get into advantageous situations. And I just don't see that enough with the Patriots.
How many times a game do you see it out of Miami?
Oh, my gosh. I mean...
Might want to stop watching the games, Deuce.
Yeah. Let's go to
McDaniel is awesome. I'm not saying he can lead them to a Super Bowl or anything like that, but he's like an Ivy League coach when it comes to offensive scheme, and Kyle Shanahan's the same way. So obviously he gets it from Kyle Shanahan. But yeah, those two guys are just awesome play designers.
Let's go to CJ and KC, and then we'll take a break. What's up, CJ?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey.
Quick question. I was wondering, is there anything that we could see just on the offensive side of things and over this game and maybe the next Jets game that would make you guys think like, yeah, we've turned a page. Yeah, we're on track. Yeah, we're going in the right direction. Or are we going to have to wait until Minnesota, a really good team, to really know if we've made any kind of impact or difference?
I would look at a couple of things.
I think the Jets have a good defense, and so do the Colts. And
Really
I think
good,
if the offense works efficiently, they protect Mac, he spreads the ball, guys are getting involved, I'd say, okay, that's a step in the right direction.
But I would also like to see it, several times.
Yeah.
That's
what I said, a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you. And I agree with you on the Colts and the Jets, especially the Jets, because you just saw them and you just saw what that defense.
Great
so how do you have
3
weeks later you get to play them again? What did you learn and how did you adjust? Or did they say, you know what, we can be even more dominant defensively against them?
Yeah, we've seen what you got and we can counter it now. Yep.
Right.
That's what I'm worried about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Thanks, CJ. All right, we'll take a break. When we come back,
He's
some
not
more
sneaky
emails.
negative either. He's just flat out negative.
We got to do picks. Big day, big day.
Verizon, the network America relies on, and the official 5G network of the New England Patriots.
How did Verizon build the fastest 5G in the world? We started by building it right with 5G ultra wideband. Then we gave it massive capacity and near zero lag. And it's not just fast, it's 25 times faster than today's 4G networks. This is 5G built right from the network more people rely on, only on Verizon. 5G ultra wideband available only in parts of select cities. Global claim based on open signal independent analysis. 25 times analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q2 2020.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There's no season better than football season. And there's no better place to get in on all of the action than with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the New England Patriots. To add to the thrill, DraftKings has millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs every week. So head to the app now and check it out. If you haven't tried it yet, fantasy football is easy to play. Just pick 9 players, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for yards, touchdowns, receptions, and so much more. There's no better way to put your football knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at $1 million in total prizes. Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week. That's promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week, only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Want to get into the game? Get coached up at Dean College. Equipped with exclusive academic partnerships featuring the Patriots, Revolution, Providence Bruins, summer baseball, and more, our classrooms are set up for success by learning directly from the pros. Dean College has programs in communications, sports management, business, and marketing with unprecedented hands-on experiences. Our students take what they learn in the classroom and put it right to work in the marketplace. At Dean College, our students don't just play games, we run them. Visit us at dean.edu.
Patriot Place is the region's #1 shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Shop your favorites, including Vineyard Vines, Express, Olympia Sports, Petco, and more. Enjoy dining at one of our 19 restaurants, including 6 String Grill and Stage, Scorpion Bar, and Bar Louie. And don't forget about the entertainment. Explore your inner artist at Muse Paint Bar, watch a movie at Showcase Cinema Deluxe, or grab a controller and start gaming at Helix eSports. For a complete directory listing, please visit patriot-place.com.
The ruling on the field stands.
We deliver jerseys, funny foam fingers, and everything you need for the game. But what you really get is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Some people are never content with simply being good. Not when they can be great. But it takes a big step to get there. In fact, it takes a leap of faith, a belief in what you're striving toward, and a willingness to make the commitment, day in and day out, to something bigger than yourself. Putnam is proud to partner with those who share their own commitment to performance excellence. This is Matt Light for Putnam Investments, a world of investing.
Patriots fans, you'll want to check out the replay on this one. Pat the Patriot is stealing the show tonight with his Bank of America mobile banking app.
That's right, folks. So here we see Pat cheering, and then whammo! Is that Bank of America life plan?
Looks like he's saving up for some big future moves. Planning the next vacay, huh, big guy?
And wait, now he's paying back his buddy for concessions using Zelle? No penalty there. Incredible!
No way! As if that double move wasn't impressive enough, now he's beefing up his account defense with security meter? Holy cannoli, what a performance!
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive, Patriot fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/banking. You must be enrolled in online banking or download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Terms and conditions apply. Member FDIC. Verizon, the network America relies on, and the official 5G network of the New England Patriots.
How did Verizon build the fastest 5G in the world? We started by building it right with 5G ultra wideband. Then we gave it massive capacity and near zero lag. And it's not just fast, it's 25 times faster than today's 4G networks. This is 5G built right from the network more people rely on, only on Verizon. 5G ultra wideband available only in parts of select cities. Global claim based on open signal independent analysis. 25 times analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q2 2020.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There's no season better than football season. And there's no better place to get in on all of the action than with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the New England Patriots. To add to the thrill, DraftKings has millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs every week. So head to the app now and check it out. If you haven't tried it yet, fantasy football is easy to play. Just pick 9 players, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for yards, touchdowns, receptions, and so much more. There's no better way to put your football knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at $1 million in total prizes. Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week. That's promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week, only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Want to get into the game? Get coached up at Dean College. Equipped with exclusive academic partnerships featuring the Patriots, Revolution, Providence Bruins, summer baseball, and more, our classrooms are set up for success by learning directly from the pros. Dean College has programs in communications, sports management, business, and marketing with unprecedented hands-on experiences. Our students take what they learn in the classroom and put it right to work in the marketplace. At Dean College, our students don't just play games, we run them. Visit us at dean.edu.
Patriot Place is the region's #1 shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Shop your favorites, including Vineyard Vines, Express, Olympia Sports, Petco, and more. Enjoy dining at one of our 19 restaurants, including 6 String Grill and Stage, Scorpion Bar, and Bar Louie. And don't forget about the entertainment. Explore your inner artist at Muse Paint Bar, watch a movie at Showcase Cinema Deluxe, or grab a controller and start gaming at Helix Esports. For a complete directory listing, please visit patriot-place.com.
The ruling on the field stands.
We deliver jerseys, funny foam fingers, and everything you need for the game. But what you really get is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Some people are never content with simply being good. Not when they can be great. But it takes a big step to get there. In fact, it takes a leap of faith, a belief in what you're striving toward, and a willingness to make the commitment, day in and day out, to something bigger than yourself. Putnam is proud to partner with those who share their own commitment to performance excellence. This is Matt Light for Putnam Investments, a world of investing.
Patriots fans, you'll want to check out the replay on this one. Pat the Patriot is stealing the show tonight with his Bank of America mobile banking app.
That's right, folks. So here we see Pat cheering, and then whammo! Is that Bank of America life plan?
Looks like he's saving up for some big future moves. Planning the next vacay, huh, big guy?
And wait, now he's paying back his buddy for concessions using Zelle? No penalty there. Incredible!
No way! As if that double move wasn't impressive enough, now he's beefing up his account defense with security meter? Holy cannoli, what a performance!
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive, Patriot fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/banking. You must be enrolled in online banking or download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Terms and conditions apply. Member FDIC.
And now, great moments in history.
But that's my point.
Oh, they didn't.
Like, I think Levy caught the wave there. He had a great team, great players. They were.
Oh my
Whoa.
God!
Sorry.
Whoa!
They
the
were
most unnecessary one ever.
Right, that came out of nowhere.
They were loaded. We'll get that on post.
That's another great moment from.
Hey, Patriots fans, I'm here to tell you about NFL All Day. With NFL All Day, all your favorite Patriots highlights become digital video collectibles called Moments. Not only can you buy and sell them on a secure marketplace full of thousands of NFL fans, you can also use them to compete in epic game day challenges. Check it out and find some moments from all your favorite Patriots players on NFLAllDay.com. All right, back here on Patriots Unfiltered, 855-PATS-500 is the Ace Ticket hotline. Web radio at Patriots.com is the email address. Deuce, you got something to say? You're studying.
I was just taking inventory of this week's slate of games.
Well, we're going to get to that in a minute.
I'm excited about it.
In the meantime, we still have some more calls and emails. This show's going very fast.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a good show.
Yeah, it's like we're in hurry up. Sean's in Vancouver. What's up, Sean?
Hey, this is great news.
Now we're slowing
You're going
down.
to Germany, Fred? Is that for pleasure?
Jawohl. No, it's for business.
Okay. I was thinking, he finally took the time now that Eric left to do some globetrotting, but it's business. Okay, well, I hope it goes well.
Thank
Good luck
you.
with that.
Thank you. Is that it?
Wow.
That was
Just
it.
wanted to
You
wish
just
you
went,
well.
Wow. Okay.
Safe trip.
Mark's in Bolton. What's up, Mark?
Hey guys, I'm on Twitter a lot, maybe too much, and I follow all of you. I think the progress of the offensive coaching staff has been like molasses in their adjustments. And Evan, I was just reading last night where Mac is making, he's in the top 10 as far as his difficulty of throws he's making. I mean, my contention is I'd like him to start to have some easier throws to make. And that's because they're just not doing anything to give him some easier throws to make. That's one point. So any comment on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the stat that I put out there was what PFF calls big-time throws, which are basically just those elite, wow, like, holy smokes, what a good throw type of plays, right? And Mac right now is tied for 10th in the league in the rate in which he throws those types of throws. Now, you can't go raw numbers because he didn't play, right? So we're going with a rate here, but he had 7 of them in the 5 appearances that he's made. A lot of those came against Baltimore. I will say that. It was pretty skewed to that Baltimore game, but he has made, my point is that he has made more of those types of throws down the field, big time throws that maybe people realize. That's not to say that he's played well or to excuse all the other things he's done wrong, but I do think he has more of a capability to throw the ball down the field than people give him credit for when the opportunities present themselves. That was basically the take.
Which brings me to Tyquan Thornton. Back in the day, when Grogan got into between the 50 and the 40-yard line of the opponent, once a game he was going to throw a deep post to Stanley Morgan. At least one out of 4 times that resulted in a touchdown. And I want to see that from Thornton. I want to see that their red zone performance is horrible. So maybe let's try to score from outside the red zone. And I'm not saying go crazy with it, but, how about a stop and go on a 3rd and 1 to Thornton? Just to let these other teams know.
How about a 3rd and 1?
You've got a guy that can get there.
Yeah.
Well, they tried that. They tried to run a double move
Mark.
to Kendrick Bourne, and Marcus Cannon got beat, and the ball got tipped up in the air, and it was an interception. So they've definitely tried to push the ball down the field more. We've talked about this a lot. They're throwing the ball down the field significantly more than they were last year. Right now, I think the biggest reason why they're struggling to do it is because of the pass protection. But look, I am also one of those people that think that red zone stats can be a little bit overrated because you can score from the 25 and it doesn't count as a red zone touchdown. But I think that at the end of the day, when you're 29th in red zone scoring and you're really near the bottom of the league in a stat that's important, and then you're 17th in overall scoring, that tells
That's
you
the key.
That tells you that you're making it too hard on yourself to get points. And I think in the red zone, we talked about it on Unfiltered TV. I think that penalties has been a big problem for them inside the 20. I'd also say that the space down there is condensed vertically, so stretching the field horizontally in the red zone is critical because you don't have the vertical space. So I would love to see some more of the horizontal stretch plays, jet motion, things to get the ball outside and be able to get to the flats and outside the formation and threaten the defense that way, because you can't just go up the field all the time in the red zone because you don't have enough space.
All right, a few emails before we go to the picks for this week. Rogers in St. Louis, he says, I generally agree with Evan's takes, and someone has to put Paul in his place. Being the loudest in the room doesn't make you less wrong, Mr. Perillo.
Absolutely.
But a different question on the Tua discussion. Is he the most polarizing player in the NFL currently? The only other player I can think of is Dak, but that's mostly because people hate Dallas.
I don't think either one of those guys is polarizing.
Right. Why is he polarizing?
I think Tua is a little bit polarizing.
Does he mean?
I think
Maybe
here
he
he
means
is.
in terms of whether you think he's good or not.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think here, but I don't think Dak is a very polarizing player at all.
I think most people think he's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said my bit on Tua. I mean, I speak from a Patriots perspective, and I think he's been outstanding against the Patriots.
I think if the Patriots didn't have an Alabama quarterback, the vitriol for Tua would not exist the way it does. I think that's like we have the better Alabama quarterback.
I don't think
right?
it's necessarily like I don't think Tua is bad, but Nate Tice, who writes for The Athletic and used to play quarterback at Wisconsin, he was watching the Miami film and he was posting some clips last night when they played Detroit, and the Lions on third down, they were doubling Tyreek Hill on third down, and Tua threw the ball to Jalen Waddle, right? Because he's got somebody else to throw the football to in those situations. So they ran a bracket call on Tyreek Hill on third down. Jalen Waddle ran a wheel route from the slot and caught a 40-yard touchdown. And he's like 3 steps in front of the defensive back because he's one-on-one with no safety help over the top on him. So these are the things that when I talk about Tua, that, I just don't think the Patriots have that.
Well,
I don't think they have. They definitely don't have a number 1 like Tyreek, and I don't even know if they have a number 2 like Jalen Waddle.
Real quick, because I know we have to get started on the picks. How do you see, in general, I'm not asking percentages, but in general, how do you see teams defending the Patriots?
It's a good question. They definitely have loaded the box more against them. I would say over the last month, certainly with Zappy in the game, they were stacking the box a ton. But the Jets played a decent amount of too high against them in that game on Sunday with Mac back in there. I think the Jets, whether they were successful at it or not, they saw on tape that the Patriots were trying to run more vertical-based plays and knew that they would at least try it.
I asked you that first because I wanted to see. That's how I would see it, too. I'm not telling you, 78% of the time they have a heavy box, whatever. I don't have the numbers. But, just from watching, I think a lot of teams, certainly Cleveland did it to a ridiculous length. We're going to stop the run, which I think should open up more opportunities in the passing game. So, you can say, well, they're going to double Tyreek Hill and you still have a Jalen Waddle to go to, but he should have a lot of options in the passing game, and they somehow haven't on a consistent basis.
I mean, in Cleveland, Bailey's happy threw for 300 yards.
That would be one example where it did work out that way. But I haven't really seen Mac take advantage of that as much.
I don't think that they're playing him the same exact way.
I don't think they are either.
So
I would
that's
agree with
part
that. And you know that I'm Team Mac over Zap. This is not a Mac and Zappy thing. This is just I think that it's easy to sometimes look at other guys and say how easy he has it for this, that. And it's not easy, obviously, because it's the hardest spot to play in sports. But there are different things that different guys have opportunities to do. And I think most teams go into a game against the Patriots saying, we can't let the running game dominate today. We have to make sure
they're
we put the ball
an
in.
on-scheduled team, right? When the Patriots offense is ahead of the chains, and they're running the football, and then they're running play action off of the run, they are very good offense.
Right. And I think Miami's very similar, by the way.
Same way.
You don't want Tua 3rd and 12. Now he's got to drop back. He's got to push it. He wants to take his shots when he wants to. So, bottom line, I told everybody before you come on, Evan, very informal poll. Probably asked about 20 people yesterday.
Very informal.
Very informal. Not like my little poll. Got
a lot of polls
from earlier.
Yeah.
Virtually everybody agrees with you. I framed it as Mac in place of Tua. Nothing else changes. Does it look better, worse, or the same? Nobody said better. Everybody said, not everybody, most people said the same. A couple of people, and admittedly, I took a couple of those with a grain of salt because they're known Mac bashers. Jim Murray. And they said it would look worse. But most people agreed with you in that it would probably look about the same.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying that they would have
Which is probably right, by the way. I really had to jump in because of the whole Spee thing. I was itching over here, and I really just had to jump in.
It's not. I don't think that. I gave out the stat yesterday. Whatever passer rating, QBR, whatever your favorite quarterback metric is, Tua is number 1 in the league across the board. So I don't know if Mac would be number 1 in the league, but I just watched that Miami offense, and I love what McDaniel's doing. I think that he's on a different level of offensive play calling and designing than what the Patriots have, and they have 2 playmakers in Waddle and Hill that are better than anybody on the Patriots.
Right. And I would certainly say, I'm going to eliminate Skylar Thompson, but Teddy Bridgewater's been around for a while. Mm-hmm. Shouldn't it have looked pretty close with a guy like that? And it didn't.
Derek wants to know if there's any updates on Ty Montgomery.
No.
Not looking like that's coming back anytime soon.
No. Yeah. Mike Reese was on that last week, 2 weeks ago, I think.
The week that he was eligible to come off IR.
Affirmed, no.
And it was affirmed he will not be practicing.
Okay.
But we'll see bye week. You never know.
And finally, Bart and Poland, who are the only 2 players in the NFL who have 500-plus yards rushing and 200-plus yards receiving?
Stevenson? Does he have?
He's one of them.
Yeah, he's up there. I just saw this.
Not McCaffrey.
I literally just saw
McCaffrey is
this.
correct.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah.
McCaffrey.
Dude.
Jeez, I wonder what the Niners record would be without McCaffrey.
All right. It's that time of the week.
It's a good button, Paul. Good button.
That's why they don't like me.
What happened last week?
All right.
Paul?
Yeah, how'd my COVID picks go?
Yeah, your COVID.
I had the
your-
COVID fog.
Your COVID picks did very well, Mike. Mike's
having a season.
Mike. No, well, not really. 12-3 last week. So
Right.
good job by Mike, followed by Alex, Evan, and Paul at 10-5, and Fred at 9-6.
Hey,
I
winning
just-
record.
I
Winning
just-
record.
I'm having a bad year.
With the spread, Mike 10-5. Good solid week.
Wow. Mike.
Followed by
What happened?
Paul at 9-6, Evan at 8-7, Alex at 7-8, and Fred at 5-10.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
this was my year last year.
So season standings as follows: Paul 76-46-1, followed by Mike 73-49-1, and Fred 66-56-1. Evan 48-27, Alex 48-29. That's a different amount of games because depending on the bye week and which week they picked and not. I have all the winning percentages if anybody's interested. Evans is the best at 640.
Wow.
He's like Belichick compared to
You can't
Lombardi.
rely on percentages,
Okay,
Paul.
with the spread. Oh God, I continue to amaze myself. 76-46-1 for me. I'm sorry. 73-48-2. I am with the spread. 73-48-2. Followed by Mike 61-60-2. You're winning money, Mike.
Winning record.
And Fred. he's putting a bag over
Napkin.
his head.
What is it, that bag you're wearing?
48-73-2. That is, in case you were wondering, that's a winning percentage of 398.
Not good batting average.
I still don't think you're as bad as I was last year.
He's the Dan Campbell.
So Evan, let's see here. You're 35-38-2, and Alex is 37-39.
Yeah, I got to get better against the spread. I'm good straight up. But
That's why they do it.
So that's how we look. But Evan's winning percentage overall is 640.
All right, we got to hurry.
So that's the highest.
Keeps going.
All right, we'll start with tonight's game.
Giving you the information, guys.
I know. I don't like hearing it because I'm doing terrible.
All right, we'll just say what it is then.
Prime Video.
Yeah, baby.
The 7-0 Eagles are at the 1-5-1 Texans.
Okay, so 13 games this week, a lot of buys, and a lot of road favorites. Leading off with the Eagles by 14.
14. Sounds like Brandon Cooks ain't going to play either. Mount Cooks.
Ain't going to play.
Yeah.
He wanted to be in Dallas.
Didn't get traded
he
again.
did want to get traded, yeah.
I mean, I got to go Philly. I think they're undefeated. I'm going to lay all
You
those
think they're
14
undefeated?
points.
Okay.
I think they're undefeated. 14 points. I'll lay them. It's a lot.
So this game's on Prime Video, and the Bruins game is on ESPN Plus tonight.
Streaming
so
problems.
It's Stream
wars.
centric.
Don't cross the streams.
It'd be amazing if the World Series still won't win the ratings night.
Right.
This is clearly Eagles.
Yeah, that's a lot of points, but I'm going to lay them. I'm with the boys. I'm going to go
I
Eagles,
just can't
Eagles.
see Texans putting up a fight. I'm sorry. Eagles both ways. 1 o'clock, the 4-3 on Sunday. The 4-3 Chargers are at the 4-4 Falcons.
Another road favorite, Chargers by 3.5.
Ooh, that's a little
No
bit
respect for the Falcons.
No
respect.
No, Arthur Smith. I mean, two interesting teams, though. I mean, I feel like Atlanta's kind of surprisingly good. Chargers maybe surprisingly not quite as good as they thought they would be. But I think I'm going to go with the Falcons at home as underdogs. A little bit on upset there.
The 8th rated quarterback in QBR right now is Marcus Mariota, which is wild. I mean, they're not asking him to do much, but the fact that he's that efficient is pretty impressive. I'm taking the Falcons at home, too. I don't really... something's off about the Chargers.
Yeah.
I don't know
Mike
what
Lombardi
it
will
is.
tell you it's not an accident with all those injuries. They don't know how to do it. That's what he says.
Oh, boy.
I will take the Chargers to win, but I will take the hook. I like the 3.5. I like a field goal game, so I'll take the Chargers, but I'll take the points.
I will take the Falcons both ways. 1 o'clock, 5-3 Dolphins are at the 3-5 Bears.
Miami makes it 3 for 3 on road favorites by 5.
Yeah, well, we've been talking all about Tua and pumping them up, so I don't see how I can pick against Miami in this one. I'll take them and lay the points.
I'm also going to take Miami to cover, but I will say the Bears last 2 weeks finally using Justin Fields as a runner and finally actually calling a playbook that fits the skill set of the quarterback. So they've been
Imagine
better.
that.
But I'm gonna give the Dolphins this one.
I agree with Evan, only I'm going to take the points. I'm going to take Miami to win. I also have some concerns with the whole Miami offense. As the year goes on and the weather starts to turn, I wonder if he has the kind of arm that can perform. And I'm not telling you early November in Chicago is going to be a terrible day, but it might not be great. And I wonder how that offense looks. I'll take Miami to win, but I'll take the points.
Paul is correct.
Oh.
That is the pick. Take the points.
The kiss of death.
1 o'clock.
Can't believe I'm agreeing with the 48-73 and 2 guy.
2-6 Panthers are at the 4-4 Bengals.
Gross.
Cincy by 7.5.
Oh, gross. And then, so this is like, I mean, Cincinnati laid an absolute turd. Somehow the Carolina Panthers are fighting. But I'm going to go with Cincinnati to win at home. But I think Carolina keeps it close. I'm going to take those points.
I'm going to do the same thing. This also supports my argument because Joe Burrow without Jamar Chase, not the same guy.
Yeah.
Not the same guy. So I'm going to say that the Bengals win, but that the Panthers keep it close.
Yeah, I will take the Bengals both ways.
I will take the Bengals both ways as well. I think you're right, Evan, but I think as the games go on, he learns to live without Jamar Chase.
Right.
So that's what I'm
possible.
thinking. 1 o'clock, the 3-5 Packers are at the 1-6 Bears.
No, they're at the 1-6 Lions.
Lions, I'm sorry.
The Packers are favored by 3.5.
Lions and Tigers and Bears.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Green Bay on the road. I'm not really starting to parade for either of these teams. I'll take Green Bay. I'll lay the points.
After their fast start defensively, the Lions' defense has been the worst defense in the league by a wide margin, like a drastically scary wide margin. So even though the Packers have struggled, I'm taking the Packers and I'm taking them to cover.
What'd you say the number was again, Paul?
3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, I will take the Packers to finally win a game, but I'll take the hook again, and I'll take 3.5. I think they lose by a field goal because that's generally what the Lions do.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Packers both ways in this one. That doesn't mean their troubles are over by a long stretch.
No.
1 o'clock, the 2-5 Raiders are at the 2-6 Jaguars.
Raiders by 1.5.
Oh, is this a must-win for Josh? For
It's a
Josh
must-win for
McDaniels
both
on the
teams.
road?
They only have 2 wins. They have to win, both of them.
Josh wants to hang on to his job. I'm going to go with Josh. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. They haven't been great. I'll take them, and I'll lay the points on the road.
I'm going to take the Raiders as well, but just so everybody knows, and this is on the record, if Josh gets fired, I bring him back the next day.
He's not really going to get fired, is he?
I can't believe that.
Well, not with the GM also being in lockstep with him. I think they have to give him a longer leash.
Yeah, I will take the Raiders too, but I'm with these guys. I don't feel great about it. They just haven't looked good at all.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Jaguars because I'm rooting for Derek Lawrence. Or Trevor, whatever his name is.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah.
Trevor Carr.
Yeah.
He's just beautiful.
Lawrence Derek.
He's beautiful. Dexter Lawrence.
Right. 1 o'clock, 3-4-1 Colts are at the. Oh no, we're gonna skip over that. The 1 o'clock 6-1 Bills are at the 5-3 Jets.
Bills by 12.5.
Jeez,
12.5. I mean, I got to pick Buffalo to win. It's just a question of if they're going to cover or not. And after just seeing Zach Wilson do what he did, it's just not going to be enough. Mistakes are going to kill him. I'll lay the points.
Why do you think the spread is so big for the? I mean, the Jets don't have a terrible defense.
No, I think their quarterback's an idiot.
Right, right.
I am also going to take the Bills to win. I'm going to take the Jets to cover, though. I just think their defense is good enough that this game was 12.5. I mean, that's a lot of points against a good defense, but I'm waiting. Not that I think the Bills are bad. I've already moved on from that point that Josh Allen is great, but he does have one stinker a year, right? Like there's like last year against Jacksonville, like that game is coming. It's not going to be a divisional game.
He tends to have him in the Meadowlands too. He doesn't play great at the Jets.
Yeah, and like in this middle part of the season also, right? It's not like down the stretch
or
meaningless,
sleepy
1 p.m.
in November
game, right? So I'm waiting for that stinker. It's going to come, but I don't think it's going to be this week.
I'm with Evan. I have Buffalo winning the game, but I will not lay the 12.5. I just watched that game last week. They were up. I mean, they could have easily covered in that game. I think they lost interest
Yeah.
against Green Bay. I worry about that a little bit. Are they mature enough to handle the success that they're having?
Yeah, the problem with playing in the Meadowlands for the Bills is the team makes the guys take their own cars.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're a little tired when they get to
drive themselves
yeah.
mentally.
Is that actually true?
That's tough.
No.
I'm going to take.
They also don't let them sleep in the beds in the hotel.
Yeah.
They tell them to stay on top of the covers so they don't have to incur any room service.
That's
fees.
right. That's right. I'm going to take the Bills both ways, though. The Jets' defense is good, but they're going to score so little points that you're going to.
Yeah, it's like 13 points.
Yeah.
You're done.
If you get into the upper 20s, you're going to make that spread. 1 o'clock, the 6-1 Vikings are at the 4-4 Commanders.
Minnesota by 3.5.
3.5. So Kirk Cousins comes back to where it all started. But it is a 1 o'clock game, so that means Minnesota is going to win. But you know what? I'm going to get a little weird. I'm going to take those points. I think it's going to be close.
So the Commanders did activate Chase Young this week.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to play in this game.
Yeah, is he going to play? I know he was cleared to return to practice.
I don't know if he's going to play, but there's something. He's not a franchise quarterback, but Taylor Heineke is feisty, and he just keeps games.
He's happy.
Yeah, he's a little. I think the guy they're playing this week, Sam Ellinger. I think they have similar skill sets. It's just a little feistiness there. So I'm going to say that they're going to keep it close, and I'll say it's a field goal game. But yeah, I like the Vikings.
I am going to go all Fred Kirsch. And folks, this is your upset special.
You stole it from me.
I will take Washington outright. I know the Vikings are 6-1. I just don't think that they've played that well. I think they
haven't passed the ball that well.
Periods of every game that it looks like they're in trouble, and they just find a way. There's something to be said for that, but I don't think they're that good.
I thought I'd be alone on this one, but I got to agree with Paul. Commanders outright beat the Vikings.
And again, I'll say I'm with the guy. 38-73-2.
Going to bring you down with me.
Yep.
All right, now we're going to skip over the Patriots at 1 o'clock, and we're going to go to 4:05.
It's a tradition, Evan. You still got to learn some things.
Yeah, 4:05. The 5-3 Seahawks are at the 3-5 Cardinals.
Arizona by 2.
When the season started, did you really think that the Seahawks would have a better record than the Broncos?
I think the Seahawks are the biggest surprise, in my opinion, in the league.
Playing a ton of rookies too. I was reading this morning about they're just
boy.
full
I'll tell
in
you,
on rookies.
Pete Carroll
good coach.
is dunking on everyone, as the kids like to say.
Yeah, and that's why I'm going to take Seattle on the road for the upset. Geno Smith keeps the hype train rolling. I think it's one of the coolest stories of the NFL this year. Just everyone thinks, oh, he's going to leave, they're done, they're going to, it's a nice story.
Not only is Geno playing, he's playing fantastic.
Yeah.
Like he's dropping dimes.
I thought they were done with Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Did you see
the fact that Geno Smith is not only playing well, he's like lifting the team.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He's playing so well.
They dropped one of his throws last week. That
Tyler
was
Lockett
just
dropped
it was an absolute dime.
And he
just
came right back to
into
him.
it. Yeah.
And the guy I was playing had
Beautiful
Lockett. I was like really bummed, but I won anyway.
I would be hard pressed to find a quarterback that's making more perfect downfield throws on a consistent basis.
He's having the
Geno
Dietrich
right
Wise. Is it the year 6 breakout for you? I mean, he's been long enough.
He's
6
leading the
years,
league
hasn't he?
in DVOA, EPA, LMNOP. I mean, he is just killing it.
Well, the LMNOP is the big one.
He's being disrespectful to you. I don't disrespect you like that,
He's
Evan.
not leading the league in all those. But
well, maybe LMNOP, but
maybe. I like the Seahawks.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks as well. Oh, no, I'm sorry, Paul.
Yeah, I'm going to take Arizona at home. But that doesn't mean I don't believe everything you guys just said about the Seahawks. I think they've been great.
4:25. Who knew the records would be the way they are in this one? The 3-4 Rams are at the 3-5 Buccaneers.
Tampa by 3.
Oof. I'm a little torn on this one, fellas. You know what, though? When in doubt, go with the GOAT. I'm going to take Tampa Bay at home. I will lay those points.
Well, or Paul says 2 bad teams, go with the home team.
Yeah. Like that, too.
I also would like to
Be
point
good use
out
of that here.
that the 3 older gentlemen in the room are using paper and pen, and I have my cell phone to go. So this fits perfectly.
it's a tradition,
LMNOP,
Evan.
right? Yeah, that's exactly right. All right.
Well, I have to record them. I mean, I guess I could type them into my notes.
Evan's getting cocky in the last days of his 20s. You know, it's coming fast for you, buddy.
I mean,
I happen to be using a computer screen, by the way.
And no one else
It's a
will
touch
take
screen, too.
No one else will take the time to actually record what the picks are, so we can find out who won the previous week.
I think Vegas has this nailed. I think Bucks by a field goal is exactly what it's going to be, but I'll take the Bucks and I'll take them to cover because you said I can't take them to push. So.
Yeah, I will take Tampa Bay as well. 10 days off. I just think that the Rams' offensive line is really, really in shambles. And I think Tampa will find a way to win this one.
Yeah, I'm going to take Tampa both ways in this one as well. 8:20 on NBC. The 5-2 Titans are at the 5-2 Chiefs.
Chiefs by 12.5.
12 and that sounds like a lot. Tennessee's defense has played well against Patrick Mahomes, as if anybody has. So I'm going to take Kansas City to win, but that's a ton of points, and I'm going to take all 12.5 of them.
I know we do this every year with praising Vrabel, but the fact that this Titans team is 5-2, I know it's a bad division, but it's still crazy. I mean, their roster talent really isn't that good, and they're still 5-2. I like the Chiefs, though. I'm with Mike, though. I think that's too many points.
Yeah, I'll take the Chiefs both ways. Tannehill not playing, right? Malik Willis? Yeah, can't keep up with Malik Willis.
Yeah, that's probably why the spread is what it is. I'll take the Chiefs both ways as well. 8:15 Monday night. 5-3 Ravens are at the 3-5 Saints.
The Ravens by 2.5.
Yeah, this is a tough game. This
Yeah.
is a big boy.
Saints.
I can't figure out the Saints.
No.
Me
They
neither.
go
No,
from-
they can't figure them
They
out.
absolutely suck or they're great.
Yeah.
There's no mediocre performances for them.
I get it. But I think I'm going to go with the quarterback in this one. I'm going to go with Baltimore to win, and I think it's by more than 2.5. I'll lay the points.
I think Baltimore's blowing them out. The main reason why, I think it's Andy Dalton again, right, for the Saints. Andy Dalton in prime time is just like Kirk Cousins in prime time.
Wow.
Terrible.
I didn't know Dalton had a primetime thing.
Yes. The second reason is Lamar Jackson wanting to get paid. He has an island game here in prime time to make the statement once again.
Okay.
Where's my money, Baltimore?
I like that take.
Where's my money? He goes off.
Yeah, I'm with the boys here. I'll take Baltimore both ways.
I'm going with New Orleans. Yeah, to
Okay.
win this game, not just beat the spread.
It could happen. Like the way they play, all of a sudden they shut down Lamar.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, now we go back to 1 o'clock, and
So you couldn't do this with your phone, Evan.
Yeah.
That's clearly food.
The 3-4-1 Colts are at the 4-4 Patriots.
Patriots by 5.5.
A lot of respect for the Patriots.
So yeah, I kind of said my piece on this one yesterday. I just think it's a game that's going to unfold favorably for the Patriots. I don't think that they're going to do anything crazy, but I think they're going to get like a special team score. They're going to get maybe a defensive fumble recovery 6 kind of thing. I just see it being one of those kind of games where it starts to go New England's way. Indy doesn't really have much fight in them. Maybe they decide, hey, let's not try to kill Jonathan Taylor when we're already losing. So I got the Patriots winning 27-3.
Oh,
wow.
Big blowout.
Big defensive stand.
So I agree that the Patriots are going to win this game. I have them 26-13 to beat Indianapolis. The main reason why, I'm going to ask you all this question. Who ran a faster 40-yard dash at the 2021 NFL Combine, Sam Ehlinger or Mac Jones?
Mac Jones.
The answer is Mac Jones. By a tenth of a second faster than Sam Ehlinger, yet I'm supposed to believe that Sam Ehlinger is this mobile savant
Well,
of a
he's a
quarterback.
power runner more than he's not fast.
If I'm the Patriots, and I think this is what they will do, when they run all those read option style plays to try to get creases for Jonathan Taylor,
Kill Jonathan Taylor.
Let the quarterback keep it. If Sam Ehlinger's the guy that runs all over you and wins the game, then so be it. I don't see him doing it. 26-13 Pats.
It's interesting you say that because we were talking earlier about how Bill Belichick openly said we've had trouble against mobile quarterbacks this year.
It's like he's encouraging.
Do you think that's an invitation for the Colts? Go ahead, run them.
Trying to encourage him.
This kid is not Justin Fields.
They're not going to run him like that.
Yeah.
They ran
I
him
think he had like 6 times last
Yeah,
week.
he ran him 6 times last week. 2 of them were scrambles. 4 of them were design runs. On the design runs, I think he had something like 9 yards on 4 carries. Like, this is not a dynamic runner. I know he's hard to bring down once he gets ahead of steam, but he is not somebody that you can carry your offense by having him run the football.
He's like a goal line, short yardage kind of guy.
Yeah.
Like if they have like 4th and 1, I could see them doing one of those plays.
That was the one.
And then
that was the
he's
one
trying to
good
move the
play
pile.
he made with his legs was converting on like a 3rd and 2 on a read option keeper.
But I will take the Patriots in this game. I think that they will. I think they'll continue. Well, they'll win second in a row, not continue a winning streak because they're trying to start one. But I will take the points. I think that it would require a mess of turnovers to get the separation that people are talking about. That could happen. Not rookie, but guy making his first career start on the road could absolutely see an avalanche of turnovers in this one. But I'm not going to predict that, and I will say 16-13 Patriots.
Wow. Okay. Schlag.
Schlag.
I'm going to say that the Patriots have a little bit more luck on offense this week, and they win the game. I was going to say 32-17, but I'm bringing that down. 27-17. Patriots by 10.
That'd be a crazy game.
Yeah.
A lot of points.
Reverse of last year.
Yeah. Last year was. So.
Ran out to a big lead and then kind of chipped away at it there in the fourth quarter.
All the same bones are there for Indy. That's the part that scares me a little bit if you're the Patriots about this game. They haven't played well this year, but they still have all the same pieces in their running game. They still have the interior defensive line. Like, all of the pieces are still in place. I mean, they beat the Patriots really handily in that game with Carson Wentz throwing for like 55 yards or something like that. So the quarterback is not a factor last year either.
Yeah.
So it does worry me that they basically have the same team as they did last year, just not playing as well as they were last year.
Or hurt.
I don't know what the stat is, but how many games after a Bill Belichick team, really got embarrassed, got beat badly, when they play that team again, within a certain frame of time, do they do better?
It's going to be a small sample size. I mean, the only one that came to mind right now, and I know there are extenuating circumstances, was Baltimore 2019 where they got rolled, and then 2020
How about Buffalo last Christmas and then like 3 weeks later?
That's true. That didn't work out well. Right?
I really am negative. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
No, but that's a good. That's valid. That's valid, right?
But both games, weather conditions involving, I know playing both sides of the street with
No. The two Buffalo blowouts.
The
where they didn't force a punt in either one of them.
The last two games.
I was thinking, I got you.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm just thinking that they took to heart what happened in that last time they played. And
one thing that I would say is, like, in Slater, Mike, you talked about the Slater comment about the special teams. Like, you don't go into games thinking we're going to get a punt block for a touchdown. We're going to jump offside when they miss a field goal and, extend a drive and like that kind of stuff. They had a bad game. I know they were bad on special teams last year. That was the baddest.
Yeah.
Like, they were awful in the kicking game in that game. That's not going to happen.
I remember the press conference after the game. Belichick was so short with the media, and
didn't he apologize after
he
that?
apologized.
Yeah.
The following day, when we had him on Zoom the next day, he apologized for how much of a a-hole he was.
I remember that because I just want
do
to, start off by saying
you guys didn't deserve that, I think, was one of the phrases he used.
In many ways, he probably was referring to the game itself as well.
Right. Well, what got to him about that game that he felt like that set him off in a way that he hadn't been before? Because, it was – in context, was that press conference really that much worse than –
It was. It was pretty bad. And, I think he knew that he came into that press conference in a bad mood because he came off the bye. You had a path to having a
and then
a
you
bye.
were down 17-0 before you blinked your eyes.
20-0.
You came out and just played bad football,
All three phases.
Like they Taylor ran all over him. There's no doubt. But the Patriots, contributed to that loss.
No question.
In so many ways.
That's why, I don't look at it that way, because I don't see them doing those kinds of things with the kicking game. Was really bad.
Kicking game was bad. They had a turnover in the red zone and another turnover to start the second half.
That's right.
Jonathan Taylor ran for 170. I know he had the 67-yarder, but he was still averaging like 4 yards a carry even before that. The quarterback literally didn't throw the ball. Carson Wentz threw the ball 12 times.
Yeah, he played terribly.
He had 5 completions, and it still really wasn't a close game.
Yeah.
Real quick before you, though, Ray Guy soliloquy tomorrow for Belichick in his press conference, probably.
Did he pass?
He passed
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Well, someone will tee him up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sochi.
Patriots Unfiltered is brought to you by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Great memories are made in Massachusetts, no matter how you choose to make them. Indoors or outdoors, scenic views or city vibes, solo or family style, whatever moves you, whatever the season, plan your perfect Massachusetts getaway at visitma.com. All right, John Rook in the Playbook is teed up next. Evan, you're going to hang out with him for a little bit?
Yes.
All right, we will pregame social, 10:45 on Sunday, and then the postgame after the show. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.
The world's original podcast.